Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
I need a little music to come back here.
Yeah, we've got to have the music.
You can't do it raw. It's unsafe.
Agreed.
You need safe radio here.
Queen or something there. No, something.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got together in Arizona. He came there. I gave him the nickname, not Carrot Top, OMG, Orange Man Good.
I like that.
The great Carrot Top again here. Well, he has the longest residency here in Las Vegas. And the other guy behind you is Terry Fader, right? Because he's been here like 17.
He's been doing it for a while. No, not 17.
Is it not 17?
No, I don't believe so. I think the next one is probably Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller might be close. But I don't know. Terry Fader's been, well, I don't know.
He told me 17 yesterday when we had him in here.
Or
you think he's lying?
Did the puppet tell you that?
Yes.
No, yeah, the frog told us that. Yeah,
the frog.
The frog told us that.
Trust a turtle. You don't trust a turtle.
So you're everywhere. So you have a hat on that says "Need Ticket."
Yeah, I know. I need a
and you
ticket.
would think a guy who has his own room in the Luxor would get a Super Bowl
no,
ticket.
I need a ticket for my show. My show.
Oh, yeah.
I need a
ticket for your own show?
I need a ticket to the Super Bowl. I need a ticket for the Super Bowl.
I know you need. I know you can get into your own show.
I think
you know people,
even that's
right?
sketchy sometimes, but yeah.
Now, how's it been going here? Because obviously this is the first time in Vegas. People come here every year for the Super Bowl anyway. Even when it's here, it wasn't here. But do you believe this would ever happen?
No, this is amazing. No one can believe it. I mean, Vegas alone, and a normal day in Vegas is crazy. Then you have the Super Bowl and all this. It's just it's nuts. The town's is just going crazy. It's great. Who would have thought we wouldn't think we'd have a football team, well alone a Super Bowl hosting. So it's unbelievable.
So you go from morning to night, because I'm going to be 72. We start early and we go late because once you get juices going, it's hard to stop. It's hard to go to sleep. It's not hard to wake up.
Sure.
So you do this every day.
Right, but I do it at night.
But you're out in the light. See, you're out all over the place.
I got it for you. This is early for me. I'm a comic. I do drugs and I go to bed late.
Okay, I just wanted to double check.
And then I get up late.
But you work out too, man. You got some guns. I don't think people don't know.
Do you even lift, bro? That's a question
I just get punched all the time, so I just stay swollen.
We had the slap champion woman here. Did you see her? She's from Hungary. You know the slap fighting?
I'm glad I missed it.
I've seen her battery.
I mean, she's from Hungary. She's a Hungarian. What do they call her?
Master.
Yeah, the slap. They do the slap fighting now. You see that?
I've seen it. But I don't want to be part of it. I don't either. I don't want to be either part of it on either end.
So you do one show night at the Luxor.
One show night.
You can't do two shows, right?
No.
Terry Fader said
I could do two.
Well, I know you could, but Terry Fader says he can't because it's voice because he does singing stuff,
he
right?
does sing. Vegas is tough on the voice. That's one thing. It's that dryness you get. So, one show's plenty.
Wow. So how often do you not update your act, but I mean you
every 15 years I had a joke.
Do you have a set list like Springsteen?
But I'm still doing Nixon jokes. Yeah, I know.
But you must see stuff around the world, around the country, even walking through the casino and say, God, that's it. I'm gonna do that.
It's always evolving and constantly changing, and that's what's fun about my job is you can always keep it fresh and current. We can talk about the Super Bowl being here. We can talk about politics. We can talk just like you just said, observational stuff you see. I mean, it's great.
Exactly. And people, I mean, everybody that I've talked to that's been to Vegas and seen your show, I mean, our buddy here said it was the funniest show, right? When you saw Carrot Top here, one of the first shows you saw when you came to Vegas, he said you absolutely kill it. Because people don't think, hey, Carrot Top, he's just stick. No, you're a legend in this town, man.
That's sweet. Yeah. Well, the show is fun. People get a chance to see it. It's different than what they think they'd see on TV. Because I don't know. It's more layered. There's a lot more to it. I do it all in Spanish on Tuesdays.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
That's fun. Yeah.
Do you really? No, you're kidding. You should do a second Spanish-only show.
Yeah.
A Hungarian
Tuesday, like, what the hell is this Spanish night?
No. How about a mime? Be a mime.
Yeah, mime. Wednesday night's mime night. I don't say anything. It's great. That's how you save your voice. One day a week, you just mime it.
Well, what you do is...
Wait. You got something against the Spanish people?
No, I
don't want to do it in your show.
No, I said if I do it, I could do it in Spanish. I would do it.
Okay, gracias.
We have a Spanish night, yeah. Nothing against at all. I wish I had a show I could do in Spanish.
Listen, I'll be your sidekick. Don't worry about it.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
The great Carrot Top. Now, I know your name is Scott. Everybody knows that, right? Scott.
Yes.
Does anybody call you Scott other than like Frank Caliendo and Terry Fader and all the other?
The police department and judges and like that. Scott Thompson, please rise.
I'll tell you the one act I wouldn't want to be. It's the Blue Man Group, because those guys get messed up every night, right? With all
they
that
don't
pain
have to say
and shit.
They don't say anything.
They don't even say anything.
Right. So
but they get all that blue shit all over them every night, man.
No, I don't do that.
How does that wash out of your skin?
I'm not sure it does. I think the life expectancy of a Blue Man Group is probably low.
Because it's not the same guy. It's like Carrot Top's been here for 20 years, and it's the same Carrot Top.
Because I don't put any more blue stuff on me. That's
right. But you got one little blue streak there, though.
Yeah, a little blue streak. That's my.
Is that your tribute?
In honor of them.
That's your tribute to the Blue Man Group. And then you got a little red, and you mix it up a little bit
blue
there.
And purple. There's all kinds of shit.
Have you gone full orange? Because it's more not orange anymore.
This is more just fun, rainbowy kind of just fun hair. It's like representing every color.
The great Carrot Top. So Luxor, now they have it all painted with all the different
Doritos
stuff.
And stuff.
You like that stuff?
Yeah, no, I mean I don't care. I just show up and do my show. They don't ask me, hey, do you mind if we put Doritos on the side of the Luxor? No.
Because the Luxor is a Dorito. That's what it looks like.
It looks like a Dorito.
Yeah,
That's
a Dorito.
actually pretty
the
good
elevator goes
campaign.
sideways like Willy Wonka.
It's very smart they did that.
You have to go on the elevator sideways before you do your show?
I used to. Yeah, it's called the inclinator, and they go. It's an inclinator.
Yeah.
So you get in it, it goes like that.
Yeah.
It's sideways.
It's Wonka vision. It's that
It is
Wonka
weird,
elevator,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's not weird. When you're drunk, you don't feel it. The
Exactly. Yeah, that's the best way to experience it.
Feel anything.
Exactly. So how long now? Because I mentioned you don't have an opening act, right? I mean, you just come out.
Bill Cosby comes out and does.
Bill Cosby does your opener. Oh, that's a good. He passes around a couple of drinks.
Right,
Everybody gets
yeah.
loose.
There you go.
And then they gets loose. And then
That's like a turn.
No. How long do you go?
I would like to tell you.
Because I know a lot of comics, and I like.
Boys say now this thing.
Craig Shoemaker does like 2 hours, and he doesn't even look at his clock. You know, a lot of guys that they don't pay attention to the clock.
Yeah.
Do you do a precise act? Or
every tick on that son of a bitch I watch. I got 2 seconds left. No,
seriously.
It's loose, but I don't do a crowd. I mean, I look at the clock, but I will know that the show is pretty good. It's a pretty good click on. I try to you can't go too long in a casino. They want you people back out there having fun.
Right.
But it's about an hour and a half total.
But the crowds that come to see you, do they know? I mean, obviously a lot of people know what you've done because they've been there before and they love your show. But what about the people that are in there? Do you have weird crowds that somehow don't get it? Or
Oh, yeah. Every night. We had a lady lick me last night. You can't make
that has to be a good one of the good shows, right?
Yeah, we're out in the audience to give to shake hands with everybody. I do a thing where I give out a little shot of booze. And I went out and this lady just licked me. So I said, "Just lick me?" And so
You couldn't do that during COVID, though, right? You couldn't,
I said, we've come a long way since COVID.
Well, it wasn't a tequila shot or anything like that, right?
No,
Salt
you
on
think she
no
Did you
lemon.
put some
salt on it.
Were you sweating salty sweat on your hand?
No, I have cologne. She's licked my cologne, apparently. She said I tasted yummy. So.
Now, I know you were with my boys at Bleacher Brothers. FAU,
Yes,
I didn't know you were an FAU guy.
Grad, the alumni. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know you were a Florida guy.
Last year? Did you go to the
guy,
Final Four last year? I was there in Houston for the Final Four when they.
I didn't make it to the Final Four, but I mean, it was great. The team did. It was amazing.
Yeah, because I moved to Florida. Pete lives in Fort
Fort
Myers. I live in Cape Coral, so that's Southwest Florida. And obviously, FAU is on the East Coast. But what a great story and what a great team.
Yeah, no, it was a great thing for FAU, just like the Super Bowl is here for Vegas. This is great. Really put Boca on the map.
Absolutely.
Oh, no question about it. They're just going to build a bigger arena.
Yeah, and they will. They will.
Now, is there a Carrot Top push to maybe have the building named after Carrot Top at FAU? The Carrot Top Dome at FAU.
Yeah, right.
What about that?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
They won't even name the Rathskeller that I first performed in anything. I said, call it the Carrot Top Room because that's where I started doing comedy in 1985.
And they have your room. They have a name of the room.
No, I want them to.
Yeah, why wouldn't they do it?
I don't know.
Who's more famous at FAU than Carrot Top?
I don't think there's another person that went through that.
Seriously.
Yeah, I know. What was
Pete,
your first?
you got connections.
Yeah.
Where's our buddy Bleacher Brothers dude? He's got
figure it out.
FAU connections.
We'll get that happen. We'll get that happen. Get my people. Yeah.
To see my people, to get your people with the other
get his
people.
on my person.
Where was your first paid gig?
In Fort Lauderdale.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like? First time?
Great. I got paid. Yeah.
No, I know. That's what I mean.
But did they call it Fort Lickerdale back then?
Lickerdale?
No.
No, it was great. I did a little comedy club, and they paid me like $25, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
I didn't get paid a thing.
There's a great comedy club in Naples called what's it called?
Off the
Hook.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
It was probably another name of it when I was playing there back in the 40s. When I played there.
Well, I mean, this has to be tiring. I mean, you're doing all these interviews, and then did you go back and take a nap before the show? What do you do?
Probably take a nap and then do the show. Maybe if I have time, we get done here and we'll see what time.
So is that your normal? So you wake up what time?
No, usually I wake up and I go to the gym and I go to the show. Today I had to get up and come talk to you fuckers. And then I would not go to the gym.
Come on, how many? At least we were there last. This is my 42nd Super Bowl, man. So I'm not just some Johnny come lately. You know what I'm saying?
It's great.
And now I have my own network. Last week, we have opening spots. If you want to do like a weekends shot on there,
anytime.
1 hour talk show, talk to the folks. So we're worldwide now. Digital is the way to go, as you know. Everything's digitized.
Yeah.
So people are listening to us in Kuwait, in
Australia. We're big.
We're big in Australia.
I'm big in all those places.
Yeah.
I know you are. Now the Thunder Down Under guys, do they come and see your show?
They come just to borrow oil. And then they.
Well, brother, it's great to see you, man.
Great to see you. All the best.
You're awesome.
Pleasure
Everybody
meeting you.
loves your
Awesome.
show, man. And if you haven't seen Carrot Top, you got to go see him. Now, you've been sold out, obviously, right?
Yeah,
this
we're
week?
doing good. We're doing good.
Do you have to add a second show if like the people come in and somebody gives you a ticket? Would you add a second show just for that person if they got you two Super Bowl tickets?
Yeah.
For two Super Bowl tickets.
Yeah.
Do a private show for them?
Just a little matinee for them.
Exactly. That's what you do it. A brunch.
Yeah.
Carrot Top, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together. Thank you, brother.
Good job. Thanks so much.
Man.
It was fun. You guys are awesome.
Take care. Thank you.
Great Carrot Top, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a break and come right back. We're having fun.
Yes, we are.
I have to add to my Carrot Top photo collection. Get in there, Pete. Pete's a Boston guy. You can't trust this.
And whatever happened to Tuesday and so slow, gone down the old man with a transistor radio, standing in the sunlight laughing, hiding behind a rainbow's wall, slipping and sliding all along the waterfall with you, a brown-eyed girl. You you have grown. Cast my memory back, real Lord. Sometimes hope come thinking about making love in the green grass behind the stadium with you, my brown-eyed girl. And you, my brown-eyed girl. Do you remember when we used to sing?
Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Well, we are the biggest sports. Yeah, we're the biggest sports network on the planet. You know why? Because the guy with the voiceover just said it. A man who's also the biggest guy in Las Vegas. Forget about we had all the big names coming by, but when I think of Las Vegas, the first guy I think of is the man who made Las Vegas. No, not Wayne Newton, not Don Rickles, not the Rat Pack, the great JT the Brick, the original greatness of the Raiders.
I follow up the king of props. Do I need prop bets?
Yeah, exactly.
JT, I was working, before I got the Tony Bruno Sports Network, I'm working at ESPN Southwest Florida. Guess who is down there and was a regular caller, stalker, nice guy.
Guess down in Florida.
One of your big-time
Sugar White Mike.
Raider Mike.
Raider Mike.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yep.
That's another die. You know, we all have Raider callers. My name is John in real life. I go by JT because Romy named me that when I won his first smack off, so I stick with JT. But what would the Raider Nation do without Raider Pete, Raider Mike, Raider Rick? I mean,
Raider Ryan, who ran the board out there in L.A.
You're right about that. He was a great guy. There are a lot of good Raider fans. And you, my friend, I go back, and I said this to Mike North, and I say this to you. When I started in my career, it's a true story. I was living in a two-bedroom apartment in Vegas after leaving Merrill Lynch in La Jolla. I knew one guy lived there. And I put up what was called oak tag, a white sheet, and I put it in my room. And I wrote the 10 biggest guys' names in radio. And it was Tony Bruno, it was Mike and the Mad Dog, it was Mike North. And I wrote them all down, and then I said, who are their agents? True story. And I tried to find out who their agents were because I was a great cold caller as a stockbroker, Wolf of Wall Street type guy.
Oh, yeah.
I found out who their agents were, who they were, and the first time I met Tony was at a Super Bowl. I think it was Atlanta or one of them. This is my 26th radio row, and I went up to Tony, introduced myself, and he was kind. He was generous. He didn't shoo me away. I guess because I told him my backstory, and he said, whatever you need, call me, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, you used to do your shows, okay, when I was at WEI in Boston. I did Afternoon Drive with Glenn Ordway, but you used to do your show then at night. I think you did 10 Eastern Time, 10 to 2A, I think.
No, that's even crazier. That's what I was doing Pacific time. So what was great, the other big break came in my career the second I started off on Sports Fan Radio Network, and then we went into Fox. The programming with me on at 10 at night or 8 o'clock at night bled me into Morning Drive on KMBR. WEEI, the ticket in Dallas.
That's right.
Program directors who never would have heard me were hearing me because I was keeping their station alive at night when radio had money.
Yeah.
When radio had money. And, you can make
you
can make 300 or 400 grand back in the day doing overnights. Everybody was throwing money away, and then that gave me the ability to cold call Bob Agnew, Bruce Gilbert, Jason Wolf. And I just treated it like it was a stockbroker. I'm going to call these guys up and ask for more work. And the biggest blessing was EEI for me because that had an 11 share coming off a Red Sox.
That was huge. And that was absolutely huge. And I know the Sports Hub, my friends over there now, they're doing 21 and 25. But yes, back in the day, on 8:50 a.m., I mean, we killed it. You killed it. You were a big part of it, because the Red Sox following after the game, you killed it. Everybody loved you.
It was a great. I mean, the Red Sox won the World Series, and I'm a diehard Yankee fan.
Yep.
So Kurt Schilling called in and said, "You coming to the show?" I said, "Yeah." I go, "I'm going to buy kegs." I bought 7 kegs, brought it to the Halfway Cafe, and we threw a Red Sox tailgate. It was kind of a bit, but that's how much Boston listened to. And I will say this is going to sound wrong. It goes back to the WFAN Boston, and in San Francisco now. You can put at times a giraffe and a hippopotamus and get a 13 chair.
Yeah, exactly.
If you take away, Tony, if you take away every radio station that's left, the ones that remain are going to show up and get 14 chairs.
Yeah.
We had to earn it back in the day. We had to earn it.
Oh, we did. Absolutely.
You guys were great. Fantastic.
But you know, the stations, all those stations you just met, JT, how easy was it for the sales staff back? They didn't have to leave the fucking. They didn't have to leave anything. They didn't have to leave the building. Just sit by the phone. Hey, I want a sponsor. Hey, here's money. Here's money. Here's money. Here's money. It was unbelievable.
That's great that you said that. The station I work here in Vegas, I do 2 hours. I tell the program director and the GM I want to spend more time off the air than on the air. And I got some of the biggest clients, Modelo, Resorts World, all this, because you got to grind it. But one other thing on that, you know John McClane, the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You see his Twitter about a week ago, he said he got let go from the radio station there. And I was
In Houston?
In Houston.
Yes.
I did not know. I didn't see that.
Got
That's
rid
a
of
major
him.
cutback.
They said his last one. And I was one of the first people to get into that Twitter feed. And I said, how dare any station not be able to sell John McClane
I know.
for just a couple of spots?
Exactly.
And, like, you can't go in Houston and go to the mattress guy who loses $3 million.
Mattress Mac,
a game,
yeah.
right? You can't get him to go, hey, 50 grand for John McClane. Hey, you own this restaurant, 10 grand, because no one sells anymore.
No.
Kids are addicted to their phone. Kids want the jobs that they want. It's not get off my lawn. Why not just go sell radio door to door and try to get behind big names in the industry like what you're doing here with this network? You need young people selling it, because once they hear it, they're going to love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The great
It's a
JT the
great
Brick.
point.
And now, of course, the other thing, you know, obviously Oakland. I remember when Mike Golick and I were doing the mornings, we came out to Raider Nation. Always loved going into the Black Hole with Robin. And I loved Oakland, and the fans there were great. And to see them lose the team twice, and I know the fans are upset, but the good thing in the move here is, hey, they got a beautiful stadium.
Yeah.
You know, the Raider Nation is strong here. And just like it used to happen when I lived in L.A., we would fly to the Bay Area every weekend. The short Southwest flight, you go to San Francisco or Oakland International, and boom, you're there for the Raider games every weekend.
Tony, you know how much I love the Bay Area. I haven't been there once in 4 years other than to go to Napa. So I land in Oakland, and I don't go to Oakland. I don't go to San Francisco, which we adored. I mean, how many times did we talk about on our radio shows going to North Beach for Italian food, rivaling Philly?
Yep,
right?
absolutely. And Boston.
They destroyed that marketplace. But the Raiders, what's good about what Mark Davis did here is he was smart enough to fall into a global hub. This is a hub for L.A., Oakland, Midwest, East Coast, and where would you rather be than Vegas? And I think we're going through growing pains now, because you see 50-50 Kansas City fans or San Francisco fans. I'm not going to fight that fight. I'm not going to be at the airport saying, stay back, you can't come. That's going to be growing pains for about 3 or 4 years until the Raiders take that next step and start winning, put themselves, and then it'll only get to 65-70% Raider fans, because everyone from Boston and Philly, every time the Raiders are on the schedule, are going to drop everything to come to Vegas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the Eagle fans are mad about the Brazil game, because it's like, how do you open the season with a Brazil game?
Not only that, you open the game when they're not playing the Super Bowl defending champion.
We have Matt Fowler has a question. He's a Bay Area guy.
I want to hear this.
Yeah.
So, JT, I don't know if you remember me, but I was over with 95-7. And it was the Super Bowl, the Tom Brady big comeback game against the Falcons, and you were doing you were doing it was either before or after Damon Bruce.
Yes.
And I walked in and I went, why the hell didn't the Atlanta Falcons take 3 knees and kick a field goal instead of Matt Ryan throwing the damn ball? and you said,
what did I say?
Well, you said, well, maybe not knees, but they should have run it up the middle.
Well, they only needed 1 first down in the second half to win that game.
I know, one.
And I blame that on Kyle Shanahan. It's a good pivot to the game.
Yeah.
Because Kyle Shanahan, the scar of his entire life was the fact that he had a 28-3 lead.
He lost that Super Bowl.
And Julio Jones. They all they had to do is roll the pocket 4 yards, hit him on a 5-yard out, and the game's over in the third quarter. It would have added another 5 minutes to the show. But one thing back then, I'm doing the show. Tony's going to love this. They moved me. One of the best radio deals deals I ever got. I'm in Napa at a Raider party, and the guy Don Collins comes up to me and he goes, "Hey man, I got noon to 2 in the Bay Area if you want to do it every day, and you don't have to move to the Bay. You do it from Vegas." And I go, "Oh my God, how much?" He gives me the offer. I go, "Really?"
Jeez.
So I take it. So I fly up there for like 11 months. They don't renew the deal. And the month before they let me go and don't renew it, they come into my studio and they go, we don't want you talking Raiders. I go, "Excuse me?" It's the Raider flagship. True story. I go, "What do you mean?" They go, "Yeah." He goes, "We feel like they're going to Vegas and you might know about it." And I go, "Oh, really? Oh, I'm the reason they're going to Vegas." And I sat there, and then they made me the bad guy with the fans, and then I wasn't allowed to talk.
That's bullshit.
And it wasn't Don, because Don hired me. He was a good guy. Those scoundrels, who I like now at 95.7, they let go of Damon Bruce brutally. Brutally. I remember when they told me when I was up there for a show, "Please stop talking the Raiders on the Raider flagship."
Yeah.
And
That's
I said,
crazy.
It's true. True story.
doesn't
No
make-
need to lie.
What
True story.
consultant idiot said that?
Well,
there are
then
tons of them.
the only people running this joint now are consultants
Yep.
who don't have the bones of Tony. They don't have the bones of us that we went and grinded every day. When was the last time a consultant filled in on a radio show?
When's the last time a consultant had a radio job, even on the air? Ever.
And now I'm going to watch them pivot, because Tony and I remember the days we used to go to the Rick Scott conference.
Yes, in Phoenix
which was
every
a
year.
lot of fun.
In Scottsdale, yeah, it was great.
Got good things done there, and there was no internet. That was pre-internet, and we would hear stories about radio. And the thing that fascinated me most about, meeting you guys, and especially knowing Tony this long, is we're going to pivot with everything. They want to make us do podcasts, we'll do podcasts. I'm going to do local radio show. I'm doing Mad Dog tonight for 3 hours. Yeah. I claim now to be a broadcast bartender, where they call me and go, "Would you like to do happy hour today? Would you like to do midnights and close? We can give you a breakfast shift." And I just fight to do shift after shift.
You don't want to do the 9 a.m. here because it's empty, man. You walk through the casinos at 9 a.m. That's like the dead hour.
Oh, my brother. But you remember me over the years when you and Miss Robin would set up the first day, and I'd be the only guy.
Exactly. In the back of the room. And then Pharrell was also another guy who was doing late nights at that time, and he was in the back of the room when we'd come out for the fights. At the end, whenever they had the Pacquiao, and they would bring in all the different big marketplaces, and it was Pacquiao against Ricky Hatton. Every 3 months there was a Pacquiao. And HBO would bring all these radio stations in.
How about the fight coming up Thursday night right over here?
Yeah, and that's good too.
Right
That's
in the
a
middle
good
of the casino.
Well, that's why they did it here, and we got the Golden Knights tonight.
Yeah.
Do you know Edmonton's won 16 in a row?
There's a lot of Edmonton people walking around here. Tons of Edmonton people.
They
walking
travel
around.
real well here. That's another team that, even though they won the cup, we get about a 40 to 50% of their fan base, because when those fans play here once a year, Edmonton plays twice. The fans from Philly. I've gone to Flyers games here, where you won't believe how many Flyer fans can't even get into the game, and they're outside at Toshiba Plaza drinking beer because they don't arrest you for drinking beer outside.
Exactly.
And the Flyer fans love it. Do you remember our Super Bowl? I know you do, when the Eagles played in Jacksonville.
Yes, absolutely.
And it was a true story, because I was working late back then too, and it was true. Eagle fans were sleeping in the park. There were no rooms.
Yeah, I was there.
They were using cruise ships for rooms.
JT, now, where did you sit for that game? Were you there for the game?
Yeah, I was there for the game. I was in media row.
You stuck up and you were in media row. Did they stick you up in the 312 section?
I was up there, but I move around.
I do too. Actually, I will never forget it, because we got taken over by really horrible Philadelphia Eagle female fans. There was a coup. They rioted. I'm not kidding. They rioted up in that section.
How do you riot in a football stadium in Jacksonville?
Threw all the men out of the bathroom. The women took over. There was a...
Why would anybody have a problem with that?
No, really? Did you see the stuff coming out of the bathroom? No, it was absolutely unbelievable how bad it was. It was not a good day for Philadelphia Eagles fans in a lot of ways. There were a ton of fights. They were, I'm just telling you, I saw things that I was like, from females puking all over themselves. They all slept in trailers. They were sleeping outside on the parking lot in blankets.
There were no rooms.
And Tony,
they weren't ready for that. I was the one that asked Roger Goodell. I said to him after all the stupid, idiotic questions, I said, "Commissioner, you had 5 years to prepare for this. This city's not ready." I said, "It's not the people who are beautiful people. No places to stay. Restaurants around Jacksonville closing because they weren't fully staffed." I go, "What happened? There's no cabs." I said, "You had 5 years to prepare." I go, "What happened?" It went viral.
Well, they had to give Jacksonville because they were a newer franchise.
I understand that, but they had 5 years to prepare, and that city back then was not ready.
And they're not ready now. They're never going to get another Super Bowl.
I said in a crack house hotel.
Well, they're never going to get another Super Bowl. But guys, as you know, I really believe that Shad Khan always wanted to go to London, and maybe he should because he's the guy that paved the way for London. He deserves to go first. They've had meaningless games there that are starting to catch on. And as you mentioned, this Philly game being in Brazil, I've been to 3 Raider games internationally. Those are some of the greatest 3 games I've been to because it's a vacation, working vacation. Now, not everybody can afford it, but if you can find a way to go, how cool would it be to be an Eagles fan in Brazil watching a football game? I think that's going to be a bucket list.
Probably. Against the Cowboys.
Was that the game?
No, I went through their home schedule yesterday. I mean, it seems logical. They don't have San Fran or KC on the schedule, but the first time I can remember, JT, you guys and Tony, that the defending Super Bowl champion won't be the first game.
Yeah, and to lose, one of the things about Mark Davis, we had London games. We had 3 London games in 5 years because Oakland was falling apart.
Right.
So if you take a home game away from Mark Davis and you're the 32nd revenue team or 31st, it was no big deal. But now we're never leaving this palace. I mean, we're not giving up a home game to go play. I don't think it's the home team, but the Raiders will probably get to the point, well, they'll be the road team to go up against a team like that. But, guys, to welcome you to Vegas, as far as we all go back, I keep telling all my guests, this was so easy to do 10 or 15 years ago, and they were scared shitless to do it. And they should have did it then. And now they're all, look at this, DraftKings, FanDuel, everybody. And they ran from it, and now it looks so simple. Why didn't they do it earlier?
And this is the biggest Super Bowl radio I can remember. Obviously the pandemic years, but I don't remember a place this crowded in the last 10 or 15 years. Do you?
No, the consultants told all the PDs you're going to get fired if you don't go to Vegas. So the consultant said if you can't get to Vegas, you can't get anywhere. But yeah, it's a vibrant radio row, and the best part about it is it's not podcast row. That's what worried me. You guys have the Tony Bruno Sports Network. You podcast. You do live radio. I do a couple of podcasts too, but I'm doing a lot of live radio here. I didn't want this. 2 or 3 years ago, I just thought this was going to turn into 2 sports radio networks left, a bunch of podcasts that aren't live, and it would take away the DNA of what Radio Row was. And now this looks to be a good Radio Row.
No, it is. And there's still, there's a lot of young college kids doing online content, which is great. This is the future. But you're right. Last year in Arizona, it was mostly podcast.
It was.
And it was a lot of college stations and, people starting out. And the NFL obviously wants to build the product. But no, it's great. And again, I don't have any problem with podcasters. I started doing podcasts 15 years ago when, I started embracing the digital thing that a lot of people were poo-pooing. So bottom line is, this is great to see, and it's only Tuesday, and look how packed it is.
I wanted to ask JT about your fan base with Cliff Kingsbury spurning you. And I mean, that to me came out of left field. I'm like, good God Almighty. And not only that, and then I don't know what happens in Washington. I don't understand the Eric Bieniemy situation at all. I read some stuff about how the players didn't really care for him. He wanted to throw the ball. I really don't get it because you didn't hear his name mentioned at all this year as opposed to the last few years. But were you surprised about the Kingsbury spurning of the Raiders?
Yeah, I mean, we thought
Did it bother your fans?
It does. Oh, Raider fans? Anything bothers the Raider fans. Clouds bother the Raider fans. Public parking freaks out Raider Nation, and they know I kid. I love them, but we thought Kingsbury would be the guy, but I talked to Antonio Pierce today on the show, and he said, we're going to make the best decision for us. So if it's Luke Getsy or if it's Eric Bieniemy, not going to be the difference. The head coach is the key. This team now is running through Antonio Pierce, who everyone wants to run through a wall for, but did I like Kingsbury? I thought he was going to be a lock there. They didn't want to give him a 3rd year instead of a 2nd year, and we'll live with it. He has a losing record as a head coach.
Absolutely. Well,
so we're not talking about bringing in Sid Gillman back from the day. It is Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, Dan Fouts. Don't forget Dan Fouts.
You take Cliff Kingsbury's record at Texas Tech and in the pros, the first 6 or 7 games, fantastic. The rest of the season is awful. His second half stats are awful.
But he had that great pad right on the wall. Remember, he was sitting out there in Arizona.
He had good girlfriends, too.
I know, hot girlfriends. I mean, if you can't score in Scottsdale as a single good-looking young dude, there's something wrong with you.
A round of applause for my son, who is a junior at ASU.
Oh, ASU. How about that, man?
3-to-1 female ratio
there, right? My wife always says, how come he hasn't checked in the last 2 weeks? but Brett. He's doing what he's
Scottsdale
doing,
Brats,
guys.
baby. Scottsdale Brats.
No doubt about that.
JT the Brick, it's always great
Thanks,
to see
guys.
you, man.
I appreciate it.
One of the legends in the business, man.
Come on, coming from you guys, it means a lot. And again, we're all connected, and I hope that they figure this out. And it's not every 5 years; it's every 3 years in Vegas. Because Roger Goodell, who now you have to get on his waiting list to come to
I know.
Vegas.
That was bullshit yesterday. I'm sorry. Were you on? Did you get on it?
I was working at the time, but he usually did it on Friday.
Of course.
I talked
Fridays
to Mike Florio about it. There was smoke coming out of his ears. He didn't get an invite.
Well, I wouldn't invite Florio either.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Well, but that's not the point. He is not, so. This is the first year because I've been to a bunch of super, not as many as Tony, but enough to know that. I didn't know if he did this in the past, and not everybody got. I got it from a third source, from Miss Robin, from a friend of a friend. They didn't send that memo out to everybody.
He usually does it on the Friday.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so everybody's here. He did it before everybody got here. My tinfoil hat conspiracy is it's the Gruden lawsuit. The Gruden lawsuit's in the Supreme Court in the state of Nevada. He didn't want to get overrun by 10 Gruden questions because this is a dirty deal. They're taking John Gruden's emails from when he worked at ESPN.
Yep.
Imagine if they grabbed that already.
My emails from ESPN.
That's what I was saying. And
Anyone's emails from anywhere. We're all human.
These scoundrels take Bruce Allen, who hired me, took his emails. I didn't know Bruce had 650,000 of them. They took
I don't even have that many.
They took a couple slivers out that were negative to Gruden.
Right.
And now there's a global lawsuit where Gruden has the advantage because the NFL just wants to throw this into arbitration. And in the state of Nevada, the 3 female judges are going, no, no, no. He has the right. He wasn't an NFL employee. They derailed the Raiders. That year we were 5-2. He had that job, a 10-year deal. It's year 3. It's year 2.5. Changes the whole face of the Raider organization. Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler, Antonio Pierce. There was no way they were going to run Gruden out of this town. Gruden could have went 8-9 and 9-8 for 3 more years, and he would have been fine. And now Roger Goodell wants to have an invite-only press conference and keep people out that might raise their hand about some legalities.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. You're absolutely right, JT.
But I was livid, and I know a lot. If you're lucky enough to get a microphone while you're there, it's because maybe 15 questions get asked total during that time, and one kid always from Nickelodeon.
That was always a great press conference, though. It's like a president coming out to the South Lawn, and if he's going to come over, they're not going to be easy. Those aren't softball ones. Those are when he gets on the helicopter and they pound him. Well, that's what I like, and I don't have a lot of bad things to say about Roger Goodell. He made the league what it is today now with streaming, and he's got a gold jacket already. He's done because of the money he's brought in. But I thought that guy's in Vegas, the sports and entertainment capital of the world, was a really bad look.
I totally
really
agree.
bad look.
I totally agree.
And that was all done for a reason. You're absolutely right. They didn't want 1,200 people in the ballroom at his State of the League address on Friday.
Don't clip this on the Tony Bruno Sports Network and have some of his goons come get me in my home. And
they're gone. We got Italian. We got Pete. We got me. We got a lot of Italians here. We can take care of it.
I know you can.
I'll bring back Nunzio, Guido, Vincent, and all my guys.
Pickles.
And rest in peace to Carl Weathers, who was in the greatest Philadelphia movie. One of the greatest there, and he was a Raider.
Yes, he
Al
was.
Davis knew he was a Raider. Rest in peace to Carl Weathers.
And let me repeat my line. A lot of people don't know this. The modern day Raider fans. Al Davis not only said we'll be back, the Raiders will be back. But the thing he said, the first thing we must establish is what in the game?
The vertical game.
No, that the quarterback must go down
in the first 15
and he must go down hard. And he must go down hard. Could you imagine an owner or a coach saying that now about the quarterback must go down and he must go down hard?
You get fined.
Pete, I wish you could. You probably did, but I wish we could go back in the hot tub time machine and see a Raider loss with Tony Bruno and Romanowski next to him. When Romo had the real meltdowns, it was still viral. And I would look at you. I'd be home watching with my wife, and you'd be like, and then you sit there and have to die through all that. That was great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together.
Absolutely.
The greatness that is. The face.
I love your staff.
Yes, thank you. The greatness of the Raiders. I mean, he should have a share in the organization.
Wow.
How do they not have? How do you not have a piece of the team at this point?
That is a podcast. Once they Joe Pesci me, I go to get my share. It's Joe Pesci.
Just don't let them drive you out into the desert and with Joe Pesci and the other guys, right?
Well, I was going Joe Pesci at the end of Cousin Vinny. He ends up really nice.
Yeah,
he leaves Alabama and he leaves.
The last thing I want to say, the funniest thing, best bit of advice, when they do want to give me my share at the end of my career, make sure I'm not on a dirt road.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Not a horse in the desert. All right.
JT the Brick. KT, always a pleasure, man. Thanks so much.
Awesome, man. Always a pleasure, yeah.
One of the greats in the industry, and I'm proud to know him for a long, long time.
Yeah, I'm on with him for a hot second. And
we're going to take another quick break. I need some water because we got another one of my boys from back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in L.A. We were rolling in the LBC down in South Central, which they don't call it anymore. They call it East LA, right?
South LA.
South LA, not South Central. That's bullshit, man. We got to change that shit. We're coming right back with the great Jake Warner.
Yes.
Big brother Jake.
Yo.
So stick around. We're just cranking it today, man. How you feeling, P? You good?
I'm great, man. I'm ready to go.
Here?
Told you.
Beautiful.
Vibrant and potent.
Beautiful. Stick around. We're coming right back.
I touch you, you just tremble inside. Then I know how much you want me that you can't hide. Can I just have one moment dance with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, oh, my love? It's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make a romance near the cover of October skies. All the leaves on the trees are falling to the sound of the breeze that blow. And I'm trying to place to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low. In all the night's magic seems to whisper and hush. In all the soft moonlight seems to shine in your blush. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, oh, my love? Or can I just make some more romance with you, oh, my love? One more moon dance with you in the moonlight on a magic night. Moonlight on a magic night. Can I just have one moment dance with you, my love? And I was turn the merry way and jump the hedges first. And I will drink the clear, clean water for to quench my thirst. I'll show out the ferry boats and they'll get high. On the blue ocean against tomorrow's sky. And I will never grow so old again. And I will walk and talk in gardens all wet with rain. Oh, oh. Sweet thing, sweet thing. Yeah. Sweet thing. Well, I shall drive my chariot down your streets and cry. Oh, it's me on dynamite and I don't know why. And you shall take me strongly in your arms again. And I will not remember that I ever felt the pain. We shall walk and talk in gardens all misty wet with rain down. And I will never grow so old again. Ooh, 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 the sweet thing. Ooh, 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 you sweet thing, sweet thing. My. And I will raise my hand up into the nighttime sky. A Chinese star that shine in your eyes. Just to dig it all, not to wonder, that's just right. And I'll be satisfied not to read in between the lines. And I will walk and talk in gardens on wet rain. And I will never grow so old again. Sweet thing. Sugar baby. Sweet thing. Sugar baby. Sugar baby, sugar baby. What a champagne I had. I just feel like smiling.
Bruno Sports Network.
Hello? Hello? Robin was on a break. She comes back and forgets how to run the board.
No, I usually have all this music queued up, and it's not there. So
you got to bring some funk here. You got to bring the noise.
I know.
I mean, we're in a long day here. I need
She
energy.
brought the coffee. That's enough.
I mean, I want to be like Carrot Top. I want to be jacked and ready to go, man. You know what I'm saying?
I had so many great things right here. Where'd they all go?
I don't know. You got to blame
Robin,
either.
we're right
you gotta
here.
Blame.
We're the great things.
You're the great
surrounded
things.
by
You're
the
right.
great things.
You are
Speaking of great
correct.
things, We are joined by one of my main men in L.A. A guy was there with me from the beginning of Fox Sports Radio.
Wow.
Through Sporting News, through 11 years in L.A. The greatness that is Big Brother Jake. He's doing his own thing, podcast.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, brother?
Man, it's always good. Following JT the Brick and Carrot Top, I've made it.
I know, man. You're not going to get a more powerful 1, 2, 3 combination.
Powerful Jedi you are.
Absolutely.
We're going to need a cleanup hitter. We had a leadoff man, was Carrot Top. JT the Brick batting second.
Yeah, and he's batting third. That means you're the best player on the team.
You know,
batting third.
I'm usually humble, but I'll take that, you know? I used to work with JT as well, so, I mean, damn.
You work with everybody in L.A., man.
Nice.
Everybody loves Big Brother Jake,
I do my best, brother. You know how it is.
So what are you up to this? Because obviously a lot of stuff. We're talking about the Raiders here.
Oh,
but what
yeah.
about L.A.? I remember when I was there, and there was a big debate of, is L.A. going to get a football team? You know, we lost all our football teams, and we're going to get. And then they had all these proposals, artist renderings of stadiums down there in Anaheim, down in the middle of the. And they built that Home Depot Center, which Sean Merriman was talking about earlier, which was a soccer stadium, and it was tiny, and it was right off the freeway.
24,000 people.
Yeah. Exactly. and so that the Chargers had to play there before they. But then finally, after all this nonsense and noise, they say, "Hey, how about right near the airport, where the racetrack Hollywood Park was?" And they should have thought of that from day one. It's right next to the airport. You got Jack Kent Cook's Fabulous Forum still standing there. You know, you still have the casinos there. It's the perfect location. That's what happens when you hire consultants and people who overthink shit instead of saying, this is the place, let's build this son of a bitch.
You're thinking logically. There's logical, and then there's consultants in any business just fuck everything up. It doesn't matter what it is. And most of the consultants have never worked in the business.
Exactly.
I don't know where they come from, because they have a lot of money from other businesses. They think they can make it in the sports world, and a lot of them fail.
And it was an ongoing thing in the papers. Where's the site? And then not only do they, when they build SoFi, they get 2 teams back at the same time. And there's only one thing better than 2 teams at the same time. And you know what that is.
I know what it is.
2 chicks at the same time, man. I mean, everybody knows that.
You're going to do the Normandale 4.
No. There's the only thing better than 2 football teams at the same time.
2 chicks at the same time.
And you don't even need $1 million for that.
Only one time for that.
Remember that line from from Office Space?
Absolutely, yeah.
What would you do if you won $1 million?
I told you what I'd do.
2 chicks at the same time, man.
You're in the right city for that.
You're damn right, man. Although it costs you, I don't want to have to. I don't pay for sex, man.
But I got to ask you, this is a great. This
is breaking news.
This is breaking news.
Well, Jay comes in here, and Don Martin was holding back on us.
He must have been. I
don't think this is Fox Sports Radio. This is Fox Sports. The network.
Huge media news. Ari Amiroff, who does a very good job.
Yes.
Huge media news. ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers planning to launch a joint sports streaming service later this year. The move will place content from ESPN, TNT, Barclays going to want to raise, Fox Sports on a new standalone app, and will have significant ramifications for the future of TV sports. The platform, though, here's the kicker, does not yet have a name or doesn't have a name or a price. The key there is or a price.
And that's what I'm saying. This is television content. This isn't Fox Sports Radio, ESPN Radio, and Warner Brothers. This is the networks, the 3 networks, combining to do standalone content, sort of like we were talking earlier about the commissioner. And, you have ESPN Plus. Because, people don't have to pay for ESPN, but then if you want content that you want to read, you got to subscribe for ESPN Plus.
But that this could turn into some sort of a digital platform for them too if they combine forces and combine strengths. It's really, I can't believe they're all going to agree to it. They're going to be, somebody's making a lot of money.
Oh, no
They're
doubt.
all going to make a lot of money.
No doubt about it. My God, that's
But here's
crazy.
the bigger question, guys. Again, that's great because you're combining 3 great companies, but they're all competing against one another in the real world. In the free world, where Roger Goodell says people still get 90% of their NFL content on over-the-air medium, right? And they have to have that because not everybody has cable. Not everybody has, local TV stations.
You know what this is going to be? Like now you can get Hulu Plus, Disney, and ESPN Plus. You can they're bundling. This is going to be another bundle.
Yep.
For any cable system you have, or I have YouTube.
But remember,
TV
this
now
is
and everything
TV
else.
content, though. Pete.
I know,
This isn't
I know
radio
that.
content.
No,
Right?
I understand that, but it basically, if they're going to be an app, if they're all together, it's going to be like if you bundle Hulu Plus with Disney and
Right.
ESPN Play, you get, it's all different bundle. There's all different bundle packages.
Yeah.
This has got that written all over. I don't know how expensive it's going to be, but I can only imagine if you can only get ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers stuff, or on TNT from an app, or you have to pay more for it. Eesh. Ugh.
But what's weird about this is you have the Paramount Plus, which is CBS.
Yep.
Then you have Hulu, which does ABC. And you have Peacock, which does NBC. Fox Sports doesn't have its own so-called separate channel. Because Fox News Channel and Fox Sports are not the same thing. I mean, they're totally different entities.
And they have subsidiary. They have the FS1 and FS2, which is
Right, exactly. And those are all cable. Those you have to have cable to get.
No,
I don't think you're not getting those on free apps,
No,
right?
no, you're not. But the Fox app, you can Fox Sports app, you can access.
So, Jake,
some of that
you're
stuff.
in the
But anyway.
digital realm now, right?
Yeah.
And listen, this is the future. We all know it. We all embrace it.
We have
if you
to.
don't embrace the digital medium, then you're being left behind.
And a lot of these people have been left behind because they don't embrace it. I mean, but you've always been in the mix no matter what platform. You're always gone with the flow. That's why I look up to you, man.
Well, thanks, Jake. But you're the future of this business. And I look at the college kids here, and the college radio station. There's a station up there from what university is that? That's
Syracuse earlier.
Yeah, Syracuse
Yeah.
is over
Yeah,
there.
they're over there.
Those guys graduated. I used to go on the Syracuse station every year, and I think those guys are now in their 30s.
But they would have spit at people like that, and a lot of other anything that wasn't.
And this is Hofstra right here, and they didn't even have Wayne Krebet on.
Yeah.
But how can they not have Wayne Krebet on?
That's
Probably is
embarrassing.
he not the greatest athlete in Hofstra history?
Yeah, if you weren't a top-ranked radio station or a top, a television station or a major network, you were not getting in here.
No.
You would never get into Radio Row. My first one was 2000. In 2001, and I've only done 7 or 8. He's done 42.
Countless, yeah.
But even for me, I've been doing this now 37 years, 38 years. Radio Row was so different when in New Orleans when I was there for Patriots Rams as opposed to, you would just never see the kind of digital platforms that are here.
Yeah.
College radio stations, not in a million gazillion years will they let you in.
And now all of a sudden you see universities all over the place.
And that's good. I have no problem with it.
I think it's good too.
And these guys over here, they're primarily doing internet content.
Right,
This
yeah.
Blaze Radio, it's a 24-hour student-run radio station.
Yeah.
And most of the time, they put microphones on, but a lot of it's just online digital content, reading content. So it doesn't matter what kind of content it is. When you have content that people want, like we don't charge people for our content because we're building this network.
Right.
And, eventually we'll have commercials that will help pay the freight, so to speak. But, we have investors, and that's the way you build a network. But all these young people, this is the future. These are the people that are going to replace us down the road. And I embrace that. I have no problem with younger generations moving up because I was one of the younger generations when it was nothing but radio stations. Not digital platforms, no internet, no cell phones, none of that stuff. But I don't sit here and say, what I was doing, we didn't have to.
Back in my
Get off my damn lawn, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the
You
way,
gotta
bitch.
embrace it, though. That's
Exactly.
It's the times now, and if you're not on it, you're out of it. And that's what I love about a lot of the older generation now. They're embracing it. Like, my mom finds all my digital content.
Exactly.
So, that's where we're going now. And anyone that's left behind, forget it.
Constructive criticism from Mom?
Always. She's been a guest on my podcast, and she's made fun of me and told me off, and it gets better numbers that way. So
my mother, both my parents have passed. My mother used to say, I don't like that they call you Pete the Meat. I don't like that.
What about your wife? Does she like that they call you Pete the Meat, though?
How do you think we met?
rim shot.
After Bruins Ranger game at the Fours, back at a matinee, the Bruins won in overtime 2-1. We met at the Fours right after that by accident.
So they got Pete the Meat, and then of course it was what was the other one? Give me some of the others. There were some like well-known people. They called them this, the, that, the this, the.
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah.
Hank the Tank.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. Hank the Tank in old school.
Of course, in Bachelor Party was Nick the Dick. Remember?
Yeah. Remember Hank the Tank?
Yes.
Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank.
Yeah.
Frank the Tank.
Yeah.
Pete the Meat.
Yeah.
And by the way, our good buddy Sid Weiss checks in and says, Radio Row, I don't know who tweeted this. I guess it was our intern, the great Shannon Bisa, had the side. So this guy says, no side view pictures anymore. I would put a stop to that. That's my rule in my life as well. No side shots, wifey, because there's a picture of me sitting in that chair, and I look like I got a gigantic belly.
That's from yesterday.
That's from yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what the great play-action reel in the picture.
But if you refresh, probably the new stuff will come up.
I got to put my girdle on. Tomorrow I'll start wearing my form-fitting clothing.
That's my secret, man.
Exactly.
That's my
You're
secret.
just well-seasoned, that's all. That's all
Exactly
you have.
right.
More to
Well
love.
seasoned.
We've been walking 100 miles, but
I
we're
know.
eating all this junk food. And so even though we're burning calories, we're putting in like triple the calories. When you're eating donuts and hot dogs and all of this other stuff.
I haven't had a hot dog yet. I can't eat donuts.
Well, hell, everything's far as hell from here. You got to walk so damn far.
And then when you go out to go get food,
Yeah.
you got to go all the way around and get through security again, man.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
It's an outrage is what it is. So how do people get your content, Jake?
Yeah.
You can go to Podcast One and / Big Brother Jake Podcast.
Big Brother Jake.
Yep. We can also iHeart, Google Play, Spotify, TuneIn, Amazon. I'm all over the place.
Dude. Joe, you're on Podcast One?
Podcast One.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I used to be on Podcast One.
Well, you know, I had to beg him, but you know. You're a producer. We'll give you a free damn podcast, you son of a bitch. So I was like, okay, I'll take it.
So now, obviously, living in L.A.,
Yeah.
Is it L.A.-centric, or do you talk about everything?
I talk about everything. Sports, politics, mental health issues, because I got all of that shit. I'm freshly divorced after 22 years, and I'm happy about that. That's a good thing. Believe me.
I'm on my third. Thank God this one's lasted 12 years.
I'm one and done. I've said this to Robin many, many times. One and done.
Yep.
See,
she
but
says that's
she's not
once
listening,
a week.
so that's
One and done.
But here's the thing. I'm a unicorn because I actually get alimony. So.
Oh, that's you. There's only 3 people I know in my life.
Breaking news.
Yeah, this is breaking news.
Breaking news.
There's only 3 people I've ever known and met. The first one is Tom Arnold. Tom Arnold was paid to go away.
There you go, Roseanne.
By Roseanne. Harry Mays, my partner in Philly, he was paid to go away from his first marriage, and now Big Brother Jake is getting paid to go away.
Hold on.
Why do we need more of that for men?
I have questions. Hold on. Number one, who was your attorney? Was there a big-time retainer fee, and did you make out after all of that?
Oh, I made out great. I just cashed a settlement check 2 days ago on top of the alimony. My attorney was great. He handled everything. Yeah, and
and Johnny Cocker's not around anymore, so you couldn't even get him, man.
We drug him up and brought him back, bro. But my attorney
was Judge Ito the judge? Remember Judge Ito? Now you got to hear this old school OJ stuff,
Are
man.
you kidding me?
Yeah, no,
Old school
I have a fantastic attorney that went after her, and I earned that shit. So.
I don't blame it. You know what? I will say this. My second wife had to pay me alimony, too. Had to pay me off.
Beautiful, man.
Not a lot.
What happened to me? Where did I go wrong? I raised 3 great kids with my ex-wife. I gave them everything. I was there for their little league games. I was there umpiring their stuff. Yeah. What happens? I move to L.A., and I lose everything. It's an outrage.
It was an outrage.
Including my integrity, my decency, and anything else I ever had. You know what I'm saying? I didn't lose my integrity, but I did lose my decency. Because that was my whoring era. That's when I officially became separated and a man whore.
Yeah, see,
so you got to go through your man whore stage. And that's what I did in
I've
L.A.
gone through several man whore stages. There's nothing like it, man. You can I pimp myself out to anybody,
I tell all my divorce friends, you're going to have a whole phase. And I finally graduated from that. Then I got me a nice one that lives down in San Diego.
Nice.
Shout out to Bonnie. She's amazing. She keeps me in line.
Ooh, Bonnie.
She's a fitness trainer, so.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Well, she keep me busy. You know what I'm saying? So
San Diego, I'm looking for a Charger fan. I'm looking for show me your lightning bolt, baby. Show me your lightning bolt.
Now, what happens when you buy a house and you sell it right away? You have to pay tax. What's that called? When you have to get the taxes out.
The home equity.
Whatever it is. So. Will you consider getting married again in a short period of time?
Hell no.
Hell no.
I get alimony. I'm good, man. I make a good living. Well, why would I do that?
I don't blame you.
By the way, the Penguin AZ wants to know, does Jake, his attorney, does he drive a white Bronco?
See, come on, man. Didn't we drop enough OJ references here? Do you realize how old you have to be to remember the OJ?
I'm old enough to laugh at that shit, though.
No, I remember it like it was yesterday, but how long ago was that?
I was pissed.
1994.
But I was pissed that night because NBC was screwing up the Knicks-Rockets game.
That's right.
I didn't give a shit about. I really didn't care. I'm like, all I know is they small screened the Knicks-Rockets game and the championship game because this knucklehead is driving with and then Bob Costas says, "Come on, Beals." Shut up! Just give me a big screen. I didn't have picture-in-picture. I was pissed.
I think the most amazing thing about all of that was they got the 405 to clear out on a
exactly right, man.
That almost never happens. I was more amazed by that. Like, I've never seen a 405 like that in my life.
And since I moved to LA, they expanded the 405 like 3 times.
Yeah,
now there's
like
12
11 lanes.
They have to
Still
cut the
crowded.
mountains out to expand it. There's no more room.
It is still crowded.
It's ridiculous, man.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh Jesus!
But you know what? I love LA. By the way, Jason Kelsey just said he's not retiring. He's not. No. People who said to him, "Please don't retire." He says, "I'm going to try not to."
Yeah.
So what does that tell you?
He's
coming back, man.
He's married though.
He's got 3 kids, little daughters.
Mrs. Kelsey is going to have a lot to say what Mr. Kelsey
For
does.
sure.
That Kelsey. That's what it's going to come down to.
He's going to try not to. That means he's coming back. What do we got, Robin? What's going on?
No, it's a wrap. We got Brian Billick coming on.
Brian Billick, and we will play
let me
him.
make way.
So he's going to be the cleanup hitter here in our Big Four
There
at
it
4.
is.
Is it the Big
Honored.
4 at 5 or the Big 4 at 8? And,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 4 for 4. Oh, by the way, 4 is the pivotal one. There it is. Bisa didn't even catch it. I dropped the first 4 reference of the day.
Yes.
Exactly.
Love
Anyway,
that.
Jake, it's great to see you,
Always
man.
good to see you,
Who
man.
do you like? I haven't asked anybody who they like. It's only Tuesday. I wait till later in the week.
Well, I mean, Kansas City, I have no doubts they're going to win. I mean, my mom's a 49er fan. I want them to win for that reason. But other than that, they're just too powerful, too good. They've been here before. You know, just I don't see the 49ers coming back from that at all.
It's just going to be a hell of a game, though.
It's going to be a great game.
I really think it's going to be
close, but I don't see 49ers.
Well, we'll see. That's why it's called gambling.
I'm leaning Kansas City also, but man, that powerful 49er offense, what they have.
Yeah.
Something that Kansas City hasn't really faced, but Kansas City's defense. Who knew the defense would carry them for the year?
Yeah,
and I'm a Charger fan, so I don't want Kansas City to win, but, you know, damn it, I go where the numbers are, you know, so.
Well,
So you're still a Charger fan even though in L.A.?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to follow the Chargers, man.
Yeah, of course. I wish they moved back to San Diego because I used to have fun weekends down there, man.
Oh, Mr. Spanos is so popular there. I'm sure they welcome him back with open arms.
Down there. All the dartboards have a face on it.
Big brother Jake, he's blowing up. He's everywhere, man.
Appreciate
He's
that.
everywhere. Thanks, brother.
Always, man. Always a
Don't
pleasure.
forget,
Thanks.
follow him at Big Brother
Nice to
Jake.
meet
Are you
brother.
following me on Twitter, man?
Always,
All
man.
right, I
Come
just
on
want to
now.
know, man. I have to keep.
You're my paisan. You're the godfather of this shit, man. Come on.
Thank you, bro.
Always.
You know who's going to come up next? A man who was on the Match Game. Back in the 70s.
right.
Did you know that? Do you remember that?
I usually have a lot of that stupid knowledge in my head. That one I didn't know. I know a lot of guys who I know are on The Price is Right, athletes and game show people, but that Brian Billick, he's not.
He's coming up
that
right
down.
there.
Don't tell him, man. We're keeping it hush hush. He's going to come up next. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate you coming
Always,
by, man.
brother. Thank
the
you.
great
Thank
Brian
you.
Billick. He's still tall, man. I
Yes.
thought you started shrinking. See, I'm shrinking as I got older, but Brian Billick is still tall. I think he's taller now than he ever was before. And he's ready to join us right here. We're not even going to go to a break. We're going to go right to Brian Billick.
Sounds good.
A guy that I've been following since he was coaching down there. What was the high school that you were coaching down?
It's high school.
Redlands. Well, Robin grew up in Redlands.
My parents grew up there.
Now, we got to turn his mic on. What happened? Is the mic on or off?
1, 2, 3.
No, it's not on.
Is this the switch, up or down? Up is on, down is off.
There we go.
There we go. You hear it?
No, that's
No,
not,
he's
that's
on the
not
wrong.
right
He's
either.
see, that one's on. That's the. We got him marked here. See, when we have guests come in and out, they.
Wrong one.
Okay, now he is.
So basically, technology's kicking our ass right
Yes, it is, right. Well, we have too many microphones. Coach, good to see you again. I still call you Coach. I mean, we go back.
My daughters and grandkids call me Coach, so that's fair enough.
Call me sir, goddammit.
Now, I got to do this because people don't believe this. You know, when I worked in L.A., and you grew up in L.A., obviously, and you coached there at Redlands. And then you go, you go on game shows and
You're going back
I'm
now.
going to go back because this is one of my favorite things. Because it's amazing. Because I remember growing up, and like the Dodgers would go on, What's My Line or all these other shows and the dating game. And you were never on the dating game.
I was on the match. People confuse that. I was on the match game.
So let's clear it up right now.
A month. Someone doesn't. It's amazing how that thing has made the circuit.
Because the stick microphone are coming back now.
Yeah, that phallic long.
Gene Rayburn.
Oh, yeah. He was
great.
Amazing.
Gene Rayburn. Let's go back. This was 1973?
Oh,
what year was this?
This would have been 77, I think.
Let's go to Gene Rayburn. Here it is.
Let's go. Both of you. Well, all of us in this room would like to find out a little bit about each of you, and Brian, we'll begin with you, sir. Tell us about your life.
Up till a few weeks ago, I was playing professional football, which terminated quickly, and now
you get hurt?
No, they just didn't feel I was quite the caliber I should have been, I guess. And now I'm coaching.
Really? In this area?
Yeah, on the University of Redlands.
Well, good luck
You
in
have a
that venture.
specific date and place.
She was hitting on me big time.
I mean,
you think? Stop that. Okay, good luck to Brian Billick. And now
Did you win or any? Did you win?
I didn't get a single point.
Are you kidding me?
No, it was you should have heard the questions, though.
Can I hear one of the questions?
All right,
Fast
I got
forward.
one for you.
Joker, but did you have to make my husband look just like blank?
Now, is this one you got wrong?
No. This is one you got to hear.
Now.
How do you? Now, this is national television.
I know. The match game was huge.
Mary went to the doctor, and you
Okay,
got that up.
Yeah.
Mary went to the doctor, and he didn't have any thermostats, so he measured her temperature with his what?
Blank. Yeah.
Now, how do you answer that thing? And still not get thrown off the air?
Well, I could say it here because we're not censored. This is digital.
Well, what was
we
your
don't-
answer?
I said pencil or something. That's why I didn't get any points.
Matt Patricia. That's what Matt Patricia did, but that was way after the show was on the air with the pencil.
Charles Nelson Riley said. What were some of the answers? Do you remember?
Oh, no, but they ripped me big. What was the
Is
other
it on
guy
this
that
show?
used to
Is it
play
on this
Hogan's
tape?
Heroes. He ripped me big time, Frank. I was terrible. I didn't get a.
And he was, of course, not only was he on Hogan's Heroes, he was also the guy who did the best. The survey says.
Richard Dawson. Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson. He ripped you.
Yeah.
Let me
But
fast
she,
forward.
what's her name? Joe Klugman's wife.
Summers,
she was hitting on me the whole
Brett
time.
Summers. But that was,
Brett
that,
Summers,
that's funny because Charles Nelson Riley, these were the good old days of comedy and TV.
Those were great shows.
And they bring them all back, but you can't do it better than Gene Rayburn.
Because you're offending somebody.
But
Something
Coach,
in there
how
offends
did you
somebody.
come to be on the show? You had an audition. How did that happen?
So I get cut by the Cowboys.
Yep.
I go back to Southern California, into Redlands, where I grew up. And I'm coaching at the University of Redlands and Redlands High School at the same time.
Wide receiver stuff, right?
It was great. It was great. I'd do the high school practice from 2 to 4, the colleges from 4 to 6. Friday night's the high school game. Take the film off Saturday. Saturday night's the college game. Sunday that was great. It was a great learning experience. 2 legendary coaches.
Yeah.
But I got to make money, right? They weren't paying me jack. So I'm working at a spa at businessmen and housewives and whatever, and as a trainer. And there's always the TV on. There's these game shows. And so I'm working them out, and time between I'm watching this and going, well, I can do that. I can make some money. So I wrote in, they said, come on in. I auditioned, and there I was.
Look at it. I mean, look at the look. I mean, everybody was hitting. I mean, you had to have tail coming out of everything. Were you married at that point?
Oh, no.
Oh, imagine the ass you were getting
What was
back
the
then.
audition like? You walk in, and what did they say? Sit down. And
it was interesting. It was with a group, and they played a game. It was unrelated, and you answer this, and you play, and you just go, and they go, you're going to do, and then you do this game, and then you do that game, the game show, and it was just kind of a mass audition. It was fun. It was interesting.
That's great. That's hysterical.
But the best thing about this? In that day, because they used to put it on differently regionally.
Right.
And after the show, you'll say, and for being a participant on the game, he gets, and then whatever the local. So for 2 years, at the time I'm living at home, and my mother would call it for 2 years later, every 3 months would go, hey, you just got a garage door opener delivered. Hey, you just got 20 cases of dog food.
So that's how they greased you? They would send you shit?
Yeah.
That was your royalties?
I would get 15 cases of shampoo or something, whatever.
Well, you had beautiful beautiful hair. I mean, who blames him? I mean, look at that hair, man. And you still got the hair. I mean, you got most of the hair still, Coach.
I don't know. It's getting less and less.
Well, that's what happens, man. Now, let me ask you, because obviously you got the ring with the Ravens, and you know the Ravens look like they were. I mean, everybody had the Ravens, right? In the AFC.
They were my preseason pick in August to win the whole thing.
But all of a sudden, here comes
Patrick Mahomes
in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Now, were you there that day?
No,
you in Baltimore?
I didn't. I had done some things earlier in the week, and like everybody, the Ravens, they were the best team. That's the great thing about this game. It's not always the best team to win, but the team that plays best.
Yeah.
And both the Detroit game with San Francisco and the Baltimore game, it was an interesting game because Kansas City just flipped the script on them. They didn't have, Baltimore didn't have the ball. Everybody's getting on them. They only ran the ball 16 times. They never had the ball.
Yeah.
Kansas City grinded it out their first 2 long drives. Baltimore got a score, but then they fumbled. So you get through the middle of the first half, Baltimore hadn't had the ball. So now you got to catch up with Patrick Mahomes, and they could never do it.
And the 2 plays, really, the fumble, and then, I came from New England. I live in Southwest Florida now, Fort Myers. We did the Patriots post-game show for many years with Fred Smirla, Steve Diassi. But all the times, and interviewed Bill Belichick every single Monday with our afternoon drive show.
That had to be fun.
I could still, well, it was a half hour every Monday for 10 years.
You got a half hour out of Bill.
Half hour, yeah. He was very different in that environment, and had two great NFL players with us, myself and Glenn Wardway, the host. But I can still hear him, even back then. Don't reach for the goal line. Don't reach for the goal line. Don't reach for the goal line.
Something bad happens.
And especially, if it's the last play of the game on 4th down, okay, maybe you have a little bit of justification. But as a former coach, you saw that play. And I love Zay because he's from Boston College and had a wonderful season. But would you, when you were coaching, would you tell players, do not reach for the goal line?
But it's like them going over the top.
Right.
On a goal line play and reaching. It's one of those, but if it works, it's the right. Otherwise, you're leaving me. And then he comes off. If he doesn't, you're going, gosh dang it, why didn't why'd you leave us on the 1 yard line? So it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
But the thing that people forget is that it was a great defensive play.
It was.
Because the ball was smacked out of his hands. If the ball's not smacked out of his hands, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Right?
And I can understand. With Ed Reed, I used to drive me nuts. Ed would intercept. And there's a classic clip. We're playing the Jets. He intercepts the ball in the end zone.
Yeah.
And I'm yelling, get down, get down, get down. He comes out. He gets out to the I'm going, get out. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. So, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I love that, Reed. I was the host of the Florida Sports Hall of Fame induction, and it was players who played in Florida with the pros, and Ed Reed, obviously, from the U.
Yeah, sure.
And so the greatest cigar smoker I've ever met.
Really?
He makes a cigar. He has his own cigar brand.
Yeah,
he will smoke a cigar and have an ash go 4 inches, and it wouldn't drop.
Smoker.
I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
I knew he did the Scotch thing.
No, it's big Scotch, but also the cigar.
Wow.
I have video of it. I've never seen anybody able to smoke a cigar down to where the ash is that long. He should be in international competition.
That sounds good.
He'd be getting stuff delivered to his house every week.
And there's probably a competition someplace for that.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you about, in this day and age, state of the officiating in the NFL. If you were still coaching, would you spontaneously combust, have a conniption?
Well, keep in mind, these guys have $100,000 of my money.
Yes.
I've been fined $100,000 in this. And let me tell you something. They keep that money now.
Mm-hmm.
The league, that's not just a symbolic. They take the money.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this, and I've come to appreciate it better. I think the officials do as good a job as you can do in real time. I love that the replay is able to counterbalance a little bit, which makes it even tougher for them. I don't know what the answer is. Adding another official, I don't think is the answer. You don't want to make them full-time because now you're going to cut out a lot of good officials that aren't going to do it full-time. The numbers are borne out. Most of the time, they get it right. I know it's frustrating because there's that time when they don't, or the way your team is suffered. But it's a tough job, and I come to appreciate it.
What about being able to challenge anything? And I'm not saying that a bunch of times. You have 2 or 3 times to do it, but the pass interference stuff has gotten out of control.
That's going down a slippery slope because that is still so subjective. Same with offensive holding. I think that's going down a slope that it's not going to be perfect, but the flow of the game, the way we've got it now, and we get to the same point in the season. I remember I do all my radio shows, and it's usually about the same time. People are going, "Oh my God, the officiating's terrible, and it's killing us here and there." And
can they still find you now if you criticize the officiating?
No, I told the guys
Are
when
you sure?
I was doing game for Fox when I would meet with the officiating crew. I'd go, "I'm your worst nightmare now because they can't find me. So believe me, I'm going to be ripping your ass one way or another." But I'll tell you the true story. I'm doing a game in Green Bay, and so I got to fly out of Appleton to get into Detroit to catch all the officials are on my flight. So we take off, and the minute we take off, they open up all at the time the CD players because they were checking the games, and they were going right to their calls, and which I appreciate because okay, it meant something to them, but they'd get to it and going, "Oh, you killed me on this one, didn't you?" I go, "Oh yeah, that was not a good one," but it showed that it meant something to them. You know?
No, that's fantastic. No, I remember many Super Bowls I've been at, and the late great Tony Siragusa was such a wonderful human being and storyteller. And I remember he told me the time he was going through the airport and he sacked Dan Marino, I guess, the final play at the end of the season, and his mom. Dan's mom got in Tony's face. "What are you doing to my son? Don't you dare!" He goes, "I just sat there." I was like, "Yes, Mrs. Marino, you're right, Mrs. Marino. Won't happen again, Mrs. Marino." But tell me, Tony Sirigu. I mean, he was the guy.
Tony was. I tell you what, Ray Lewis clearly was the emotional leader of the team, but Tony was such a great because first off, Tony was a pain in the ass because he pushed it at every level. He was a coach and everything, but I will tell you this, and he had so many things going on and. Everything was a hustle, and when it came time to work, he made sure everybody worked. In the meeting rooms, at practice, and in the game, it was we're gonna have fun, and we did have fun, and we ran. But when we're working, guys, we are working, and he set the pace for that, and it was great to coach.
And last thing is about Joe Flacco coming back and
how great a story.
We had DTR on, who was obviously the young kid from UCLA, who was the backup, and then they bring Joe in. Were you surprised at how well he played? I mean, the fact that he can still throw the ball as well as anybody in the league.
Did he call you? No, because I'd have said, "No way do you go back." No, and he was, and the great thing was you could tell Joe was playing with house money. It's like, hey, I'm going to let this thing fly. And let it go that way. Obviously, could still spin it. He always had such a great arm. And that was a big shock for me. I really thought Cleveland, if there was going to be a team that upset Baltimore and stopped them from going, I thought it was going to be Cleveland because they're playing great defense. Joe was feeling it. And they could go into Baltimore and not be intimidated because they go in there every year. You know, and particularly Joe, he didn't care going back into Baltimore. So I thought Cleveland. So I was really shocked and give credit to Houston to win the game. I really thought they were going to be the team that challenged Baltimore.
Last thing, and coming here, because this is my 42nd Radio Row. So way back when you were on the match game, I was coming to these things. I was doing this, and then I worked with Fox.
It was you and 4 other guys.
That's it. I'm like, I have my crown. See, I'm the king of Radio Row. See it? I got a crown there with diamonds in it. Look at that.
That's heavy.
How many other people that are kings? Even King Charles now is in bad shape in England.
I know.
I may be the new soul king. But I got to ask you, because I know one thing about this Super Bowl Radio Row is if you go outside, and security is always tight, certainly, and you go outside and get something to eat, you got to go all the way around. And I'm almost 72 years old, and we put a lot of steps in. But you know what happens every night? You come to a different climate, it's cold, it's chilly, and the bones hurt everywhere. And you know when we get older, everything hurts, right? You're still in great shape, Coach, but your bones hurt, don't they?
I got the answer for you.
Your bones hurt?
I got the answer for you, don't I?
I hope so. I saw something in your hand.
This thing, they can't. I get approached about a lot of things. This is called signal relief, this patch. Okay?
Can I put that on right now?
It's not a TENS patch. Let me tell you what this is. It's military grade. It blocks the electrical signals, and that's all pain is. It's an electrical signal from the pain to your brain. We say put it between the pain and the brain. It's very cost effective because you can use it for a year. You put it where you need it. If I'm 18 holes of golf, it's going to go on my lower back. If I get out of the pool, it's my shoulder.
That's what I want. I need it for my shoulder.
I need about 16 of those on my body.
Elbow, I put the thing right here up here. It blocks so that, because the key thing is you block that pain. That then allows you to motion is medicine.
Yep.
And the ability to work the muscle, work the joint, that's where the healing comes from. This is an amazing product. Go signalrelief.com.
Wow.
Put in promo code coach, you get 20% off. Who's the last time someone gave you 20% off?
I got 10% from the big guy, but that was when I was in Washington.
No, I'm taking care of you. This is the real deal. This is, I tell you, handling that prohibitive pain. And also, you go online, you need to check it out because there's people giving testimonials with, I'm talking about serious life-changing
So that's
pain.
not a one-and-done patch, right?
No, this works.
No.
This lasts for about a year.
Wow.
And it's
but you
very
take it off and put it back on?
You take it off,
Can
put
you
it
do
back
multiple?
on.
Can you, if you have pain?
Oh, yeah. I got
okay,
guys
so
that put it down with the sciatic.
Yeah, I got
the
my
upper
hips
back.
are burning right now in the hip
I
joints,
give
my
this
back.
to people, and they'll go, can you do a whole body?
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want a full
Just
suit made of that
immerse
stuff.
yourself
I
in
want
it.
a full suit because it would
Signalrelief.com.
look good
Check
too.
it
I could
out.
be a superhero.
That's right.
Could you imagine the next Avenger having this all over
That's
the
what it
body?
is.
Look at that. How great would that be?
This
Now,
is
do
the
I have
real
to
deal.
activate it, or is it automatically
No. In
just
fact,
work?
you feel it when you put it on. Your body, it works with your body. You can feel it start to warm
Because
up.
I got a bruised rib right here, Coach, and should I put it on there?
This is the way to do it.
Now, do I get a sample one now? I need one.
If my sample guys here, we'll get you one. I'm not going to give you my last signal.
No, but look at this. Look at this bruised rib right here.
Well, that's more information than I need.
No, but
that's
I mean,
okay.
that's what I'm doing here. People think we're just sitting around and talking.
And you're getting beat up. Jesus Christ. They just run me out of town. They didn't physically assault me. Good Lord.
Coach, last thing we got to ask you about, and we haven't asked everybody about the game, but I mean, you're an AFC guy, certainly. But so, Kansas City, I mean, it's just something about this
Special.
team, and now they have a defense, which they didn't have, and their offense was not even super special this year.
Yeah.
So I know San Francisco is a slight favorite. Does that surprise you?
No, because they're capable of doing it. But my answer has been this. San Francisco has everything it needs.
Yep.
But then there's always it's, okay, boy, they get McCaffrey and they're going to run the ball. Yeah, but Patrick Mahomes. Oh, but then once they do that, they'll play action. They'll get Kittle and but Patrick Mahomes. And the defense will put a four-man rush. Yeah, you're right, but it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
That ultimately, San Francisco can do it. They've got the elements if they play the complete game. They're capable of doing it, but at the end of the day, it's Patrick Mahomes. I got a tough time betting against Mahomes.
I'm more interested in signalrelief.com.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
You're
I'm
right.
going to order some today. Can I get it? Can I get expedited delivery?
You put promo code. We're going to get you some.
I need expedite. I need it tonight. I won't be able to sleep tonight if I don't have those patches all over. How many can you put on at one time?
We're going to find out.
I'm not going to watch that either.
You just tell us about it, okay?
Coach, it's great to see you
see
again.
you guys.
Great. Brian Billick, ladies and gentlemen. We loved him on the match game. You loved him with the Ravens. You loved him on Fox Sports. You love him everywhere, man.
Yeah.
He's the great Brian Billick.
Yep. Awesome. Let's go to break.
All right, we'll take a break, come right back. The party keeps on going, man. How great of a breakdown segment was that? We broke it all. We broke down game shows.
I have game shows, life,
everything.
liberty, pursuit of happiness.
Yep.
and you fill my life with laughter. You can make it better. Ease my troubles, that's what you do. Your love is divine, and it shows that it's mine like the sun. At the end of the day, we should give thanks and pray to the one. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one above you? Fill my heart with gladness, take away my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do.
Half a mile from the county fair, and the rain came pouring down. Me and Billy standing there with a silver half a crown. Hands are full of a fishing rod and the tackle on our backs. We just stood there getting wet with our backs against the fence. Oh, the water. Oh, the water. Oh, the water. Hope it don't rain all day. And it stung me to my soul. Stung me just like Jelly Roll. And it stung me. Yet it stung me to my soul. Stung me just like going home. Yet it stung me. And the rain let up and the sun came up and we were getting dry. Almost let a pickup truck nearly pass us by. So he jumped right in the driver grinned, and he dropped us up the road. Yeah, we looked at the swim, and we jumped right in, not to mention fishing poles. Oh, the water. Oh, the water. Oh, the water. Let it run all over me. Yeah, that stung me to my soul. Stung me just like Jelly Roll, and it stung me, and it stung me to my soul. Stole me just like going home, and it stung me. But our throats were getting dry. That we saw the man from across the road with the sunshine in his eye. Really lived all alone in his own little home with a great big gallon jar. There were bottles too, one for me and you. And he said, hey, there you are. Oh, the water. Oh, the water. Oh, the water. Getting myself from the mountain stream. Yeah, it stung me to my soul. Saw me just like Jelly Roll, and it stung me. Yeah, it stung me to my soul. Saw me just like going home, and it stung me. And it stung me to my soul. Stung me just like Jelly Roll, and it stung me. And it stung me to my soul. Stung me just like going home, and it stung me. Well, it's not always raining. There'll be days like this when there's no one complaining. There'll be days like this when everything falls into place like the flick of a switch. Oh, my mama told me there'll be days like this when you don't need to worry. There'll be days like this when no one's in a hurry. There'll be days like this when all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they should. And I must remember there'll be days like this when you don't need an answer. There'll be days like this when you don't need a chance. There'll be days like this when you don't get the trade by that old Judas kiss. And I must remember there'll be days like this.
Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
What's going on out there, you guys? It's Tony Bruno Sports Network. You're not hearing Tony Bruno. You're actually hearing your boy, Play Action Real, also known as Jeff. And I'm sitting next to my other buddy over here, Robbie LaStella from FAU. Robbie, let us know what's going on.
Well, I'm happy to be here on TBSN. Nice to be on the air here in the afternoon. We are joined by two great individuals. We have Dr. Erica Sheffield, CEO and founder of Anchored to Teach LLC, and Dr. Tandra Price, owner and founder of Tap In Magazine. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing awesome.
Great, great.
Glad to be here with you, sitting down at the table talking to you.
Right.
Thank y'all.
So what have you seen? Is this maybe your first experience on the Super Bowl media?
Yes, it is.
So what have you
Very
seen that you might think that's fun? Or?
Oh my gosh, just the whole experience.
The whole
experience from being able to connect with players, going to opening night, as well as
opening night was amazing. It was a bonus. I mean, like, I have never, you know how you always sit in the bleachers and be like, one day I'm going to be on that field.
Right.
Yeah, guess what? Yeah, up close in person, I can't miss it.
Right.
So you guys went last night then to meet.
Yes,
Awesome,
we went
awesome. Yeah, we were there too. It was a spectacle. It was the first time that that was actually open to the fans in the stadium. So that was the first time doing that, and I think it was a great success. I don't know about you guys.
Absolutely, it
It was packed. It was packed. So I'm going to start with Dr. Tandra.
Okay.
So as we see here on Media Row, a lot of athletes come and they promote their different foundations, and that seems to be something you've been involved in with a little bit, not promoting the foundations, but not directly from your own magazine. You want to explain a little bit?
Yeah, so listen, we know that a lot of these athletes are making touchdowns on the field, but they're also making touchdowns off the field. And we want to make sure that whatever they're doing, that we can help amplify their voice and help them get the community engagement that they need in order to make their charitable organization a successful. See, because a lot of times we just look at it as the players itself, that fame to name. But we want to make sure, guess what? They're authentic. They got some stuff going on. And we want to make sure that we amplify their voice
They
with them.
have substance, right?
They do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not all about the parties and the glitz and glams and stuff like that. They are really got some things that's going on that's helping the community and helping their community grow.
So you mentioned the parties, the glitz and the glam. Sometimes, when players go out and do stuff like that, there could be, they make some mistakes or do something that puts them in the negative media limelight. How important do you think it is that these players get a second chance, as long as they don't do anything too egregious?
Listen, I always believe in second chances, but what Tapped In Magazine is, we take that negative and turn it into a positive narrative. We want the story to be positive because guess what? We're all human, right? We all make some mistakes every now and then, but guess what? If we can show who we really are, that's what Tapped In Magazine want to make sure that happens.
I love it. And we kind of talked to you for a second right before you got on, and what I found fascinating, you said that Travis Kelce, he's not Mrs. Swift, and I paraphrase that, but he's got a lot going on.
He has, but guess what? Because of they're two popular, athletic sports, and then a music icon, you can't get past that.
Yeah.
So you know what? We want to be able to bring it down a little bit and say, listen, this is what we're really doing. This is what he cares about, he's passionate about. He wants to be able to get back to his community and contribute in a positive way. Let Tapped In Magazine highlight that story for you. Let us get more people involved in what you're doing.
Isn't it so refreshing when you talk about some of these guys, maybe if they're giving back or they're just good people? When I met Robbie, just to give you a little, he's a good guy, but he goes to FAU. This is his last semester. We got a chance to interview some of the football players, and every last one of these guys are phenomenal. It's like Mama raised them right.
Yes,
absolutely.
And so we're so fortunate when we get one of them on, we're just like, we're kind of speechless. We're blown away. And I'm not saying that I expect these guys to be creeps, but it's just the stuff they have.
Oh, they are homegrown. Yeah, I did train them. Listen, they are homegrown, but guess what? See, stuff like that needs to show who they really are. And that's what Tapped In Magazine wants to do. We want to bring that out.
Okay, Tapped In Magazine. Don't forget it, guys. Again, BleacherBrothers.com, TBSN. We're sitting with the wonderful Dr. Tandra and Dr. Erica.
Yes.
And
yeah, let me jump right in.
Jump right in. Help me out, please.
I wanted to save Dr. Erica Sheffield for a second because it's such a interesting topic. I mean, especially with the college landscape and how it's changing. So you help college students, college athletes specifically, navigate the academic side of college along with their student athletes. If you want to explain a little bit more.
Yes. With my business, Anchored to Teach, we provide athletes with what we call the SAPE. So that's the Student Athlete Excellence Plan. And it encompasses not just strategies and tactics that are applicable on the field or on the basketball court, but also in the classroom. But we want to ensure that we're reaching their needs holistically. So we want to encompass their social well-being as well, so they can be able to give back to the community. Yes.
And that is student, I like the acronym.
Yes, SAFE.
SAFE. Student Access.
Student Athlete Excellence Plan.
I love it.
Yes.
So how has your model changed, if at all, since players have become monetized? I mean, it almost made it to a point where, in my opinion, some of these players aren't necessarily students at all. They're there just to get their college money from these brand deals, score the most amount of points or touchdowns possible, and get to the next step. So how do you view this if my idea isn't correct?
Being able to bridge that. Yeah, money is good, but money is not the end all. You have to have something to fall back on. Some athletes don't even know how to manage their money or their finances correctly.
That's right.
So they still need that education background. They do. So you have to have both. Yes, absolutely.
And it's way better if back in the 80s and maybe even the 90s, they'd sit these guys down.
That's
It
true.
was like a military drill instructor. Don't go out there, use a condom, and don't do drugs.
That is so true.
And it was just like your approach is so much better, so much. I don't want to say softer because I could feel that you're very passionate about it. And so I think it's this kind of thing has evolved to where you're gonna make $1 million. I could just see it right now.
Yeah.
And who set you up? I'm just curious. That's my main question. Anybody in your corner, both of you
That set me up?
Yeah, set you up. Who's your inspiration?
My inspiration is actually Dr. Connie Giles, a former administrator of mine that really empowered me to go into the educational field. So this is like my 27th year in education. So I started out and I retired. Can you believe it?
No.
Yes, I retired. But
She looks beautiful.
But I'm still working.
Absolutely.
Still working for the university part-time.
Wow.
So with 27 years in education, I still felt that there was a need. I still had an impact in the educational sector. Plus, not just with the student athletes portion with the SAFE, but also with the high teacher turnover rate. That's my baby. That's my passion.
Goodness, thank you.
I noticed here, so it mentions you help with the challenges in school culture. With college athletes getting scholarships to go to different programs, it can bring people of all types of socioeconomic backgrounds to any type of institution. Do you think it can be difficult at times or do you think teachers and professors may treat some students, specifically athletes from different socioeconomic backgrounds differently, and maybe not even try to give them the same type of learning experience as, someone who may be paying the full tuition to go there?
That's possible, but I can only speak from my experience, and I know I hold all of my students accountable, whether they're athletes or they're not athletes. So the expectations are still there. Yes.
Interesting. Outstanding.
Yes.
Wow. That's a whole lot, wasn't it? Look, you done got breathless,
But
didn't you
it takes a lot to go.
But you know what? You have to ensure, too, that they have mentors, because a lot of student athletes tend to struggle from depression because they don't want to go out to the counselors for assistance when they're struggling with trying to balance it all. But there are options out there available for them.
And I know, it's a problem at my school. The counselors can be overwhelmed. They don't provide sometimes they don't even provide the correct support. They sign you up for the wrong classes. They don't tell you when the next interview practice is or something along those lines. So it's amazing to see that there's a third-party resource out there for everybody. So do you work with high schoolers at all
Yes,
too?
I do.
So I actually noticed that's high school consulting is an expanding market.
Yes, it is.
Especially I read an article recently about a New York-based consulting firm it kind of just seems like an Ivy League transplant.
Yes.
But what do you do for high schoolers that's maybe a little different than that?
With Anchor to Teach, we provide professional development as well as in-class support for teachers and for students, just best practices that are based on research. And so we go in and we assist with professional development workshops, we mentor the students and provide tutoring and things of that nature. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
What would you say the next steps for your Anchor to Teach LLC is?
Continuing to expand. I am internationally. I'm a research associate for the University of Johannesburg.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Oh, you
That's
got
a snap right
Yes.
there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, international exposure. So do you work a lot? Do you work a lot with students out there too, or is it mainly?
Yes, actually, I have a meeting in the morning at 12 a.m.
with a student? That's awesome.
Yes.
So you don't have. I'm assuming you have a staff too, but you work with students
Yes.
directly yourself.
And I also have educational consultants that work and coaches that go out into the school districts and provide professional development.
You have a whole team to do it.
Yes.
Whole team.
We have to. We can't do it
And
alone.
you're in their face, right?
Just like that.
I hope so.
See, I'm the same way. When I need to reach out to somebody in the counseling department, I go to the boss. So I wouldn't be talking to you.
Oh.
And that's where you need to go,
right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they tend to provide the best type of help. They say I mean, they're the boss, so they want it to be the best experience possible for students.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I want to transition back to Tandra and ask you the same question. What is next for you? I don't think we asked you that.
Oh my God, what's next for me is I'm with Dr. Erica, expanding. We're growing. We're right now in the UK. I mean, we want to get our distribution even higher. We're at 7,000 online distribution. So look, we're moving, we're shaking. And we just really want to grow. That's our platform. Each one promote one.
Are there any sports markets you haven't been able to break into?
Yeah, like tennis.
Yeah.
Don't leave out
It might not
pickleball.
be the easiest.
Pickleball is really what's happening,
It's,
isn't it?
Yeah. Did you see the latest? I mean, it's like McEnroe's into
Yes,
it now. So.
yes. I mean, I wouldn't mind diving into some tennis and seeing, because there's a story behind every athlete, no matter what it is. How can we get it into Tapped In magazine?
Any children of your own that you want to speak of, or?
Yeah, listen, I'm super excited for my two children. I have two daughters. One who is a film maker. She's just now produced her own film.
Oh, wow.
It's on Tubi. It's called Homeless or Right at Home. She's got a book that she's doing. My other daughter, she's just so amazing. She graduated, got her master's, and she's doing some amazing things in the Atlanta field. So I'm super excited. I'm proud of both of my kids. So yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say, they probably don't need your services.
I probably need their service. Okay.
Yes, and as for myself, I have 4 children and 4 grandchildren.
Oh,
so with my children, I have 2 that are working on their PhDs. Amazing. And one's actually in the counseling department, and the other one's an educator. She's at an elementary school in Tuscaloosa.
Following the footsteps?
Of the parents.
That's awesome.
Yes, with some 2 powerful women, got a whole lot going on.
There's no doubt about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys seem like you're at the top of your fields. It's amazing to see, and I'm going to be dialed in now. I'm going to be following along and seeing how this brand grows.
Thank you.
Of
Yes.
course.
I hope to have you back on our show and get more people. We'll definitely reach out to you.
Okay. Yep,
And
yep.
you just, we're digital. We're everywhere. So, and you can make us look a little more legit and more educated. Okay. So,
We get a little bit of that Bleacher talking to Tapped In magazine.
see, we can work together.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think I cover our FAU basketball team back at home, and I think I try to report in a similar way that you do, in a positive way, right?
Yes.
Like there's always going to be negative things that go on, especially in sports. Somebody's going to have a bad game. Somebody may do something stupid or whatnot, but it's about how they bounce back. That's the story. That the story isn't that they had a bad game. In my opinion, that's never the story.
It's never the story.
It's the resiliency.
And so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And like these players, especially college students, in my opinion, their parents read this. The parents read the stuff. They read the stuff, and then it's like. The parents know that they went 3 for 15 or whatever the bad game. They don't need to read me writing that. They need to read me asking coach, what is so-and-so doing to improve his game?
Yes, that's it. That's it.
And so I think that's important. And anyone who's listening, I think, take that mindset to heart.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Have a growth mindset. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yes.
Oh my God. So, if we're looking into the future, are we looking at, like you said, expanding? Are we looking into something like a franchise possibly, or was there talks about that, or?
Yeah, you know what? That could definitely be on the table because, I mean, at Tapped In Magazine, we do more than just, with our publication, but we want to go, podcast, digital. We're already digital and print, but we want to do some much more things. And, having people in different communities, building your team up together, there's your franchise.
Okay, That's right.
And then, of course, having other people showing them how to do what I do as an educational consultant. So training them to be coaches. Yes, in other areas.
Maybe that's why they're pulling you.
Yes.
They don't want you to retire.
Oh, no, they don't.
They want to keep that pool, yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what I see. I live in Arizona, and we do see some of the seasoned, if you want to call them, educators, and they're enticing, like, please stay. We need
we need the help, please.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I'm not trying to diss the system, but it's just, please train these people, So.
I mean, I'm from Florida. The educational system down there has definitely taken a bit of a hit. And it was high school teachers, elementary school teachers, middle school teachers. It's tough, especially when the pay rate isn't what it should be. These like that.
Yeah, look at that look.
Come on.
Especially good teachers.
She got a topic right there.
That.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
I don't understand why every profession, every career, they have to go through the educational sector. But when I say that we are the least paid, the lowest paid profession out there, but we have to put up with so much stuff.
That is
it's
true.
It's very challenging. But then they continue to just pile more and more and more onto your plate, to where teachers become burnout.
Yep.
Stressed out and want to quit.
I give you all the respect. I tried. I did the after-school thing with the little guys, teaching chess, right? And they just stuck me with the little guys because I'm good with little guys. And oh boy, I just wanted to worship every teacher. They went like,
it's a calling.
Yeah, it is.
You know what? My hats go off to them, and I want to give them all praise and give them a hand because you know what? They do a lot, and you know what? A lot of times, they don't get the deserving praise that they should get. So you know what? I'm clapping. I'm praising you because listen, you deserve it.
Own money going into it a lot. I found out. It made me want to cry. I found out my teacher throwing in her own money, and of course they'll come with a list for the kids.
Yes.
You better believe it. I'm on the list.
You got to get some supplies.
I'm on the list, double if I can.
Yeah.
Yes. Been there, done that.
So did one of you start with the little guys? I'm curious. What did your beginnings?
Middle school.
Oh yeah.
I started teaching middle school and taught middle school and was over the special education department for 7 years. Transitioned to the high school, taught there for 2 years, and then transitioned to higher ed. Yes.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Listen, I feel like my education just, came as I grew up. I mean, I did some after-school programs. My kids was in some, and, I just see like right now, just with future generation, I mean, like what's happening in the school system, it's challenging. I don't want to say, it's just challenging. And so, you know what, we all need to come together and help and support and understand that, just like Dr. Erica said, they have to go through that process.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
The impact that educators and people who work with children make, it goes unnoticed until it's not there. And you lose a fifth grade teacher that's been teaching for 25 years that transitions a group of kids into middle school. It's like you don't know what you're missing until it's gone.
Absolutely. Respect me for the value I bring to the plate.
That's true.
Please believe. Yes.
That's true. So,
It just seems like it's an upside down world.
It is.
What you mentioned with the pay. It should be the athletes. I'm sorry.
Okay, look, there you go. Talking about bench talk now. Come on.
I told you I wouldn't do it.
You said you weren't going to do it.
But it's true. It's just like it's an upside down world when it comes to this.
Yes.
Like you guys are setting, whether they're athletes or whatever they do, you're setting them up for success.
Absolutely.
And I hope that through your teachings and through the Anchor to Teach this thing, that you can actually have some of these guys come back and pay you a visit and for you,
Yes. But that's why we have to get this information out about what some of the athletes are doing. You made a good point. They do. It's not just so much about the money. It is and it isn't. But you know what these athletes are doing, there are some that have been through the process of what Dr. Erica's talking about, and they're wanting to get back to their community.
Good.
Let them do that. Let them shine. Let them come and volunteer. But guess what? Let us help you to be able to amplify that and get that community involvement. Because once the community see that they're involved, guess what?
They're willing to step up their game.
They're willing to
I
step
know
up their
they're
game.
going to follow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what is the Silver Apple Award a thing for you guys? Is that, do you know? Ever heard of that one?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Can I somehow make a silver apple? I'll paint one.
Red
One
apple.
for you.
But I like the silver one.
Yeah.
Can I get a gold one?
I'm a Granny Smith. It's okay.
We'll take those too.
Yeah, they're
We'll
okay.
take those too. Absolutely.
We have to do something for it. Just, you guys, again, we're with the wonderful Dr. Erica Sheffield and Dr. Tanja Price, BleacherBrothers.com. And if you got to get on there, let us know a little bit about you guys on digital.
Yes.
Anchored to Teach LLC. Is there a website?
upside down.
The
It's
website
upside down.
is,
Okay.
Please
believe my eyeballs.
I got you, Jeff.
Yeah, he got you. Look, back up.
So if you want to reach out to Dr. Erica Sheffield and Anchored to Teach LLC, you can find their website at www.anchored2, that's the number 2, teach.com, ANCHORED 2 TEACH.com. And then if you want to reach out to the amazing Dr. Tanja Price, the owner and founder of Tap In Magazine, she's everywhere. I mean, she's got Instagram, Tap In Magazine, LinkedIn, Dr. Price Tandra. She's on Facebook, tandra.price.50, and she's on X, QD Publishing. So, and her website is www.tapinmagazine.org.
That's it.
That's why we got him around. Right?
Yeah, see, right, because he had to be your backup. Remember,
Yeah.
it's always two people that's sitting in the bleachers, right?
Yeah, and we've learned that. Right.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, and we've learned you can't
every
have
day.
more than two.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
We fight.
Right. And I am on LinkedIn, social media.
So why you want to give out your
yeah,
socials?
Yes, Dr. Erica Sheffield, Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as on Facebook. Yes,
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, it has been a pleasure. We'll close out here with some easy questions. So are you guys going to the Super Bowl?
No, I'm not going to the Super Bowl.
Transition.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
no, I'm not
we
going
know what
either.
you're doing.
Jeff's
You
not
have a
going either.
meeting.
Yes, I have a meeting. I got to get ready for my meeting.
Fair enough.
No.
But listen, even though we're not going, we're watching it.
Who are we rooting
right.
for, and
Yeah.
who is winning?
The red team.
Well, you know what? For me, it's kind of hard. But I have my nephew who loves the Kansas City Chiefs, so they have a big thing at their house. But my brother loves the
Super Bowl
49ers.
parties.
So you know what? I'm just kind of in between.
You're in between. You're in limbo.
I'm in limbo.
Kansas City.
Yes.
She's
Yes,
quiet.
I know
Kansas
why.
City.
Yes.
And then, favorite Super Bowl party dish? What are you guys eating?
Oh my gosh. I love Rotel dip.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm from Texas.
I'm from
Rotel.
Alabama.
Yeah, so we're close.
Cheesy
Gotta
cheese
have it.
dip. Cheesy
And some-
cheese dip.
And
yeah.
some chicken wings. Give me some fried chicken wings.
The bounty booth over there might have some chicken wings left. They were giving them out along with some paper towels before. They were all right.
Look,
They
keep
were
your
all
hands clean, right?
Yeah, that was the whole marketing speech. I was washing my hands with the bounty towels on video. So
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. It's just one wipe, right? Sucks it all up.
If you say so.
Okay, so you use more than two, right?
You know, I'm a messy person.
Jeff was dropping buffalo sauce all over his
Yeah.
pants and
Well, I
blue
know not to
cheese.
wear white pants. Okay.
Well, look, I didn't get anything on my.
No, he was good.
Yeah, my dad taught me well. He's a clean freak, so you know what.
Absolutely.
Well, Dr. Erica Sheffield, CEO and founder of Anchored to Teach LLC, and Dr. Tanja Price, owner and founder of Tap In Magazine. Thank you for joining us on the Bleacher Brothers show on Tony Bruno Sports Network. It has been an absolute pleasure.
So nice to
so
meet
much.
you.
Nice to meet y'all too.
Yes.
Thank you.
And,
Yes.
you better follow them because they're going to come
Follow
to
'em.
the paddle.
Absolutely.
Follow
Back in
and
the
get
old
yourself
days.
some
Yeah.
educational consulting and promote yourself with Tap In Magazine. Two
That's
great
it.
women, two great powerful women here on hand with us on TBSN.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much.
you.
No worries. We'll
Yes.
see you next time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We will send it to a quick commercial, or
Let's look at the bosses over there and see what they say.
I think that was
No,
an
you-
awesome interview, Jeff. I think these two were amazing.
It was all them. I just sat here and just watched them.
Look, give me the eye. Look,
We're going to go to a quick commercial break on TBSN. For Robbie LaStella, Jeff, Dr. Erica Sheffield, and Dr.
we
Tanja
get
Price.
along.
We will be right back.
Now, you know right there, there's Nick there.
You're listening to Tony Bruno's Sports Network. Tony didn't invent sports radio. He perfected it.
Well, my mama told me there'll be days like this. There'll be days like this. Oh, my mama told me. There'll be days like this. Well, my mama told me. There'll be days like this. Oh, my mama told me. She said there'll be days like this.
To the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Action reel.
What up?
We just had a great interview with Dr. Tandra Price and Dr. Erica Sheffield. Jeff, that was a lot of fun. That was the first time I ever did a non-sports interview.
You know, I got to say, they actually helped us make that interview. They were on top of their game. And, you know, I hope that you guys actually took something out of that, because it's more than just sports for a lot of these guys. Like I mentioned, they're substance. Mm-hmm. And I believe it was Dr. Sheffield. She mentioned, she just threw a name out there, say like Steph Curry. He's not just the guy jacking threes out there. You know, he's got his charity. He's giving back. So nice for them to even highlight that. So they did bring it to sports in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and I think that's how, you know, me and you were able to kind of work and get the thing rolling, is the fact that, you know, they're helping athletes and they're doing stuff that we do at Bleacher Brothers, right? We don't really highlight the negative stuff. We only talk about the positive. And even if there is negative stuff, we try to put it in a positive limelight. So, or
make fun of it, make it funny, right?
Exactly. There's no need. There's so much negativity and sadness in this world that it's just like, enjoy the good stuff. Like Dr. Erica Sheffield, Dr. Tandra Price, amazing things. They're doing good stuff. So, yeah. And then that right before that, I mean, I was at CBS Media Day talking to one of my biggest idols in Jim Nance. I mean,
lucky.
Oh man. I mean, I don't have the audio on hand, but I got to ask him, you know, his thoughts on what you have to do to become a sports journalist. If you really don't have that step up of being a player's son or a player yourself or knowing someone in the business. And he just, talked about the importance of reading and understanding different things. And announcing isn't about stats, he said. It's about telling a story. And I think it's important to remember that. And also, like with anything you do, you can't look. Journalism is not a business. It's not cut and dry. There's no, unless it gets bought out by private equity. But what we do is stories, and it requires a little bit of what Jim was talking about, not stats, just real stuff. And it was awesome to talk with him.
And that's what he does so well. When you listen to him, whether he's doing golf or football, he doesn't make it about himself. He just has a way of bringing you into it, and you just think it's like your buddy talking to you like over here on the other side of the couch about the game, and you might learn something,
Oh my gosh, when I asked him about FAU, his eyes lit up. He was like, I'm a student there. He's like, really? Oh, wow. And then, I asked him, I was like, what was that like? I mean, he's been a part of so many different sporting events, and I had to ask him. I was like, so how does that explain to me just like what that was? And I don't have his exact quote, so I don't want to mess it up. Mm-hmm. But he just talked about how surreal it was. And it was surreal. I mean, FAU before that, there was nothing going on, literally nothing athletically, and then all of a sudden, now Jim Nantz knows who FAU is.
I think it's because your parents said, go to FAU. Robbie's going, and boom, that school took off. No, but you didn't say, hey, Jim Nantz, I can't play the back nine at your house over there next to Pebble Beach. You gotta score or something, like something for the Bleacher Brothers.
Just some content. That's about it. Just some content for Bleacher Brothers.
That's right.
I did ask to take a picture, and unfortunately, there was such a big crowd that it was just not the time. But I mean, it's like pictures are cool, but I have the memory and I have the audio, and there's time and place for pictures, and it just wasn't there. But I mean, other than Jim Nantz, we had everyone from CBS on hand. They talked really about the different types of cameras and stuff. I mean, there's going to be 165 cameras, 19 mobile units, 3 sky cams, 2 fly cams, 48 replay sources, 20 cameras embedded in the pylons, and 3 live drone cameras on the outside of the stadium. The drone cameras are the first time ever. This is going to be one of the most covered Super Bowls from the camera perspective, and that's just CBS. That doesn't include all the people down on the field recording for different outlets and whatnot.
And across the world as well.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh yeah. There's going to be 90 countries, I believe, that this is being broadcast in like 135 different languages.
And there's a few of them out here. I've talked to plenty of people from Australia.
Yep.
Today.
I met 2 journalists yesterday from Switzerland and Denmark, and Europe has a big NFL market. I knew it was growing, especially since they started, doing the games over there and whatnot. Yeah. But man, he was telling me they're dialed in for the NFL more than some people watch it more than their football over there in Europe.
Oh my gosh!
So it's like if the NFL keeps going up and up and up and up. Or up in national or internationally.
Yeah.
Who knows? Sooner than later we might get a team in Germany or England or something like that.
You already heard what happened. That's news today. The Eagles,
Brazil.
That's to open the season on a Friday in Brazil. So
I don't know about Brazil. One of my good friends, my roommate is from Brazil, and there's good. It's like anywhere. There's good parts and bad parts, and I don't think the NFL is going to put them in the slums of Brazil.
It's Sao Paulo. They played the FIFA World Cup. What was it, 2013? Also, it was the Olympics in 2016.
Gotcha.
So they've been down this road before, so they'll be fine. But a little bit part of you says, okay, take it easy, And we just talked to the wonderful doctors, and all right. These guys, hopefully they don't mess up and they don't get caught up with some tiny little, the thongs. If Tony Bruno was here, he'd tell you about that. But it's and going back to the international. Next thing you know, the Jaguars are going to be there full time. I swear they play better in London than they do in Jacksonville.
They've played there so many times, man, that they've grown. They're one of the most strongest fan bases out there, which is pretty cool. Florida has a lot of teams, so it's like and then there's fair weather fans all across Florida, so it's good for Jacksonville to try to pigeonhole that fan base out there and kind of lock them in, which if they're able to do, like you said, it may very happen soon enough that they leave Jacksonville. And I believe their owner is international, Shad Khan.
That's right.
I don't know where exactly he's from, but he's from Europe, and so it's like now if he has the opportunity to take a team out there. Come on.
It's just such an easy transition for the guys. So,
and I don't know how American NFL fans would react. Would that become the most hated team in the NFL because they're not American?
Could be. I remember. I don't know if you're old enough to remember when they came into the league, and there was a lot of buzz, and it was Mark Brunell they had to basically do a draft, an expansion draft, and they were like, they got Mark Brunell, man. They got a shot, and they actually made the playoffs early on in that franchise, and you saw it build, and you're just like, this is viable. This is not just an expansion team. They could be going somewhere, and then some things happen, bad decisions, some drafting, and now we're in Europe. So I think they would probably be. I don't know. They're not the laughing stock. I mean, I could name 3 teams.
Oh yeah,
right
the
now,
Giants are. In my opinion, the Giants are. I don't know. Actually, we're not going to talk about the Giants because that will make me unhappy.
That's
right,
your
Jeff?
team. We're uplifting.
We are going to pivot past the Giants because I don't want to talk about.
Well, the great doctors brought my energy level, my attitude up. After all the funky news we got,
We would have to go to the longest commercial break in history for me to find the time to think positively about the Giants. Right? We talk about positive coverage. Say nothing. If you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. That's where I'm at right now. I mean, the Giants, they had a rough year, man. The injuries were killer. I did not expect this season to go like that at all for them, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Man, I almost had a question for the Giants, but I'll take it easy on you.
No,
stick to Florida.
We're here. Let's do it. Well, hit me.
Well, I mean, is there a quarterback ever going to play for this? I'm sorry to say, Daniel Jones is not the answer, bro. Will you draft a quarterback in this draft? Who will it be?
Well, they don't have the number 1 pick, right? So they're not going to get.
That doesn't mean anything anymore.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
They can make trades. They could try to get up there. Unless they do something like that, my answer is going to be no. I don't think that where they're at currently, they're going to go after anybody. Could they go after a Drake May, a Michael Penix? Maybe. But they just signed Daniel Jones to this big contract. Yeah. And, he got hurt. And it was if I recall, it was a neck injury. Yeah. So that's a pretty serious one. And it's not one you want to rush him back from. But at the same time, he's going to need to play next year, and I feel like next year will be the make or break for Daniel, which I feel like it should have already happened. I feel like the make or break should have been before they signed him to this extensively large deal. But hey, at the time, I had nothing wrong with that deal because, you know what, we just went to the playoffs. He wasn't the best quarterback in the NFL, but he was a game manager. And he was
serviceable.
And he was consistently improving, right? As you see, each year, he was constantly getting better. This year, everything just went to crap, and I don't know how that happened. But hey, I mean, they got a new defensive coordinator. I forgot the name, so we're not going to go there. But they got a new one.
That happened recently.
It did. I just saw it. But it's like
that's what our producers are for, by the way. But I mean, Saquon Barkley, could he ever stay healthy? And it's like, I love the guy. I loved him at Penn State. But it's like, I'm just waiting for him.
I think he's gone. I think he's out the door. They signed him to the 1-year deal this season. I don't think he comes back.
Oh, no.
And then then if that happens, then, Saquon, the Giants are going to be in a bad position because then they might have to draft a running back in the first round. Will they do that again after Saquon? I doubt it. But it would bring up an interesting proposition. If they don't have a high pick, do they just go running back?
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to now learn our young Robbie's new coordinator. Breaking news.
Who we got, Steven?
Shane Bowen is your defensive
Where'd
coordinator.
he come from?
Tennessee.
Okay, now I remember.
Yeah.
He was on Mike Vrabel's staff.
Yeah.
Went to the playoffs. Tennessee always had solid defenses. Yeah. He worked with an FAU guy, Aziz Al-Shahir, last season. So you know what? I'm all here for it, man. Welcome, Coach. Welcome to Big Blue Nation. It's a tough media market, but you know what? Hey, if anyone can make it in New York, it'll be a defensive coordinator from Mike Vrabel Patriots-led staff there for the Titans. So
that's another one, Mike Vrabel.
That could have been a guy who was also taking defensive jobs. Yeah. I read somewhere that his stature, his big stature was an issue in interviews. The fact that he is a big guy. And the top comment underneath the article was, Dan Campbell is 6'4", 235. You're telling me that people didn't want to interview this guy?
What's the difference?
I don't know. Half the stuff I read on the internet, I read with a grain of salt.
I know.
I mean, gosh, everyone's trying to get the best and biggest story, but how much of it is actually true?
And besides the two guys looking the same, I feel that they're very similar in the way they get their guys rallied around them. Everybody loved Vrabel on that team. Everybody, and I understand it was a general manager thing. They didn't mesh, and so one of them had to go. But Vrabel, really, like I think to me it's like, work it out, buddy, work it out. So yeah, and we're gonna see where Vrabel goes, because I thought he'd be gone by now, be picked up by now. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I don't know if he has the personality for TV. But. Who knows? There's so many different TV guys now. That
Patriots, maybe?
I mean, maybe.
He wasn't a Belichick disciple, but played underneath him.
You saw Steve Belichick's going to go be the DC at Washington. That's old news. It may have already been talked about, but sure. I do think that's interesting. If he's able to have success, man, that's another aspect of that. You never see people from the Belichick coaching tree have as much success. So if he's able to go to the college ranks and have success, that'll be interesting to watch.
That's right.
For sure. Man, this whole media week has been rolling so far, Jeff. I don't know what else we got on tap the rest of the week, but the first 2 days here from the Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas Convention Center here has just been surreal. I don't know about you.
This is the biggest convention center I think there is in Vegas. When this was a brand new place, it's just, it's still awesome, but it was the place to be. It still is. Besides all the walking that we have to do, the setup and everything, the security is top notch. I know that as it gets on and on and on, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, notch. It's just going to get crazier and crazier and crazier.
That's what I've heard, and I heard if they raise the security anymore, I mean, they might as well turn this into a military base. I don't know, but. I'm excited for the different events we've got. We got the DTR Foundation event. We just got invited by the city of New Orleans to go to their foundation event on Thursday. And we may have the Lieutenant Governor of New Orleans on tomorrow. I got to send some emails. That's the one thing about Media Row, right? Like, I'm walking around getting these business cards, and next thing I know, AJ's like, all right, Carrot Top's coming on, we gotta go. It's like, you don't have, there's not, unless you're out here like my guy Tony Bruno at 5:30 a.m. on Radio Row, there's not, time flies. Like, once it hits about, I'd say 10 a.m., the day just starts rolling.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, that's why Tony is the GOAT. That's why he's been doing it for 42 years. He knows what to do to set himself best up for success. So maybe we got to get down here at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow, Jeff. Maybe we'll wake each other up and get on down here.
Wake me up early. Wake me up before you go, because I was sleepy so low.
Yeah, no, you gotta. We were talking last night about Jeff coming down here at 5:30 in the morning, and
didn't happen.
I woke up at about 5:45, and I opened my eyes, and Jeff was rumbling a little bit, getting up, and I was like, if he's not there yet, I'm going back to bed. And
I knew that he was going to make it when I texted him, called him.
No, it wasn't.
Texted him again, left a message.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, he was blowing up my phone.
Well, I heard, Tom, it was your fault. I heard you got him hammered at the bar after I left.
Yeah, that didn't happen. We only had 2 drinks.
2 drinks.
So he
Good
wasn't
stories.
feeding you shots?
No shots.
That's a lie. Now he's taking it back.
We were going to do some shots. If you were there, would have done.
All right, man. We'll have
But
some
you had the bell.
we got the media party tonight. I mean, no one here, no one's getting tossed. We gotta have composure, but we can have a good time when maybe we're not in the presence of 500 to 1,000 people with video cameras and social media accounts looking to post the biggest and baddest thing going on.
I know, and y'all, you better be on your P's and Q's, and got the lowdown from Miss Robin about what happened last year. We don't want any of that kind of garbage going on. So
no, that's not going to happen.
Well, no.
I don't know what.
We have a reputation to uphold.
Yeah. The worst thing that's happened to me, I lost all my cash, but at least the bank account is still swollen. It's all right. So I figured no more gambling. I knew it was going to happen, right?
Well,
we're in Vegas.
You see, Jeff, if you don't have any money but you still want to gamble, the Las Vegas Welcome Committee has set us up straight ahead there. They've got these nice slot machines. They are just demos, right? You can go in there and hit the jackpot. You don't win the money, but you don't got to put any money in.
Sounds like a video game.
It is basically a video game. I went over there and I was like, you guys are advertising gambling to the media. That's pretty funny. And they were like, no, it's just demo for B-roll. And I was like, that's not as fun. I want to see Mad Dog over here slamming his hands down on the table. Give me my slots or something. I don't know.
What you got,
What up, Steven?
Also, when we do these parties, you guys got to know we got to represent the Tony Bruno brand and Bleacher Brothers, because if we act up, they're not responsible for getting out of jail.
You yourself are the spokesman for both brands, so if anything goes wrong, we're sending you for crisis control.
Good luck. I'm going to try my best.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Just smile and apologize and just do it over and over again. Eventually, they'll forgive you.
Andy Luker's trained me for many years now. We did a little show on NoFilter.net, retro ads, and basically he carried the show, trained me everything I know. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Stephen Luker, so thank you so much, my friend.
Stephen, so Dan Patrick School of Broadcasting, they are on site, or they're not on Radio Row, but they're here in Las Vegas. Have you tried to coordinate anything?
Well, I have myself reserved for a show on Thursday in the morning, so I got the ticket and everything.
I don't want to hit the stream deck, but if I knew it worked, I would hit applause right now. Everyone, Stephen Luker, everybody. He is an up-and-coming journalist himself. The Dan Patrick School of Broadcasting is quite awesome. I mean, there's not many programs. There are, but there's not many programs led by Dan Patrick that are gearing kids to become sports journalists. And so Stephen's going to be on there on Thursday, hopefully, and he's going to pick the brain of the man himself.
Exactly. Of course, I saw one of the old cronies that used to be on he's surfing around, Andrew Perloff, also known as McLovin. So Dan Patrick has a reach. And if, he may have started you off, may have started me off, but that guy right there, for him to put out himself, for the young, he knows we need the youth. I know AJ and from Bleacher Brothers and myself, we need the youth and we need the young guys.
It's funny though. It's like at the same time, I need y'all. Like it matures me really quickly to work with a great group of people. So it's just awesome. It's been an awesome experience so far. And look at us right now, man. We're on the TBSN network.
We're still on.
And we got a caller.
We got a caller right now, and
we should drop it.
Hey,
I know this guy. He follows me on Instagram. Let's bring him on.
We got to bring on. He's actually one of my best. He is my best friend. He's my brother from another mother, the Penguin AZ.
Penguin, ice cold.
What do you say, Penguin? Can you hear me?
What's going on, man?
What up?
Welcome to the Bleacher Brothers show.
What up?
What's going on, man?
How y'all doing over there?
Well, we're doing fantastic. We're tired, but hey, we're just gonna go. We're pushing through.
You know what? I'm about as tired as you guys are, just watching everything going on the Tony Bruno Sports Network, the Bleacher Brothers, everybody just, like, I have to get up even earlier just to watch all the shows and action, man.
Man, I mean,
great stuff. Thanks you guys. Thanks, everybody. Just great stuff. You guys are phenomenal.
But don't you get in trouble at work, okay?
I think my phone has gone dead, and I've, been pissed off because it's not charged no more, because you guys are just rolling on my phone the whole time.
That's the goal,
Great
man.
stuff.
We're pushing out content on TBSN, where Tony's putting out content on his personal social media.
And so does the Penguin. He has his own articles, so don't sleep on him.
We got a whole brand of Bleacher Brothers,
but-
even the team not on site, right?
Yeah. So I just wanted to chime in real quick, just to say that, everybody sounds great sound, at least to me, You might not sound great to people that know sound, but to me, you guys sound great. Everybody's sounding great. Just thanks for all the content you guys have been putting out. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. I've been following Tony ever since Play Action Reel started, told me about him, but you guys are great, man.
I know.
Thanks
Now,
for-
at Penguin,
thanks for everything.
we used to talk about it back in the day, like, hey, man, we got to get on Patrick. We got to talk about, get on Dan Patrick's show. And then oh, dude, Tom, look at this. Look, Tony Bruno's back. And we got hooked up on that.
Yeah.
And how many times did we get in trouble at work, like, listening to it? So you're not, I hope you're not getting in trouble with work, man. Are you still staying straight, right?
No, and that's why I didn't get on earlier when you're like, man, I was listening to you, like, I hope my boy, Penguin AZ could call in, but hey, I couldn't call in, but now I'm calling in, and just, it's been a blast. I'm happy I was there last year. I got to meet the great Tony Bruno, king of sports Radio Row, and like,
that's right.
It was all great. My kids got to meet him. My wife got to meet him. It's been a blast. Thanks for everything, man. You guys have, especially you, Play Action Reel, you got me anything now. The Packers suck. They weren't able to get in there.
But you write about them, and you
baseball,
make people want to like watch the Packers because you put it in such a good perspective. And if you guys don't know, BleacherBrothers.com, again, even though the Penguin he's not with us right now. He's putting out content. Check him out on there. He's got some of the funniest stuff on the Packers. And of course, I have to call you out. You are a Lakers fan. Are your Lakers? I know your Lakers going to be any good, or?
No. The Lakers will start being good when LeBron starts playing for them. Stop playing for them. And I said that in a couple chats, like comments. I said I'll start watching Lakers and even basketball once LeBron is out of the Lakers. I'll start watching them again. But it'd be great teams that without LeBron. And what does that show you? That I think he just needs to go. Just go off somewhere with your buddy, with your boy, your LeBron Jr. and go play somewhere else that's not in, the great state of California. Oh, wait, not really. But
so
anyway,
does he have to wait for his son?
I'll start watching them once, LeBron James leaves. So, but other than that, thanks for having me on. I just wanted to say hello.
Penguin, can we get your picks? Who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl, and who's going to win, man?
I'm gonna take, as my boy says, the red team. So
that's Play Action's go-to.
I'm gonna go. I want the 49ers just because. We have Brock Purdy, baby.
Yeah.
Gilbert, boy. I live in Gilbert, Arizona. I'm going to root for Brock Purdy. I'm hoping for him to be able to win the Super Bowl. That way, he becomes probably the highest paid quarterback. That way, he could finally afford, a place to live and get his whole family. And maybe even, since we've been promoting him, maybe he'll even give me, like, hey, you know what, Penguin AZ, here's like $1,000 check so you can go and, like, come and visit me somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway.
Hey, this is Chef Tom here.
Hey, Chef Tom, my boy.
What's going on, bro?
What up?
So last night when I was at the media the event, I asked one of the players if when they win the Super Bowl, they're going to help Purdy get into a place of his own. And lo and behold,
I saw that.
Purdy just got a place. Yeah. He's got his own place
wow,
now.
Where's it at? Did you get that info
we did.
for us?
I'm sure they're not going to be giving that info. But he even has his own room.
Because I might go to his house and go root for him real quick.
And he doesn't have to hang a sock on the door.
That's right.
No, but thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Let you do your thing. And like I said, thanks, Tony. Thanks, TBSN. You guys, Bleacher Brothers, let's go. Bringing the heat, baby.
Dang right, man.
Love you guys.
Yeah, you know it, Penguin.
All right, have one for me out there, okay?
All right, I will.
And give the love to the family, the real women. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
That's my buddy. I love
you
Tom.
guys.
Love you, Penguin. And I really do, man. That right there, the Penguin AZ. You know, we're neighbors, we're brothers, and I'll never stop hanging with that. He is the most selfless. You talk about a selfless guy. He's one of those guys. He's more worried about you than himself sometimes. So thanks again.
I love those type of people.
Yeah, thanks again, man.
There's not many, that's a dying breed of person. Hold the door, ask how your day was. Just simple things like manners that people are just seeming to throw away.
That's right. That's why the chicks want him.
The Penguin's a player?
No, he's happily married. No, he's a good husband and
Sorry,
really,
Mrs. Penguin, I didn't know.
No, it's all good. He's an awesome father to two beautiful little daughters, and it, it's one of the wonderful things when your best friend and then your wife, the wives get along. As a matter of fact, they hang out more than me and my buddy Tom. His real name is Tom, just like Chef Tom, but they hang out more than we do. And they do their nails and all this stuff. And then, my wife's loves their little daughters and watch the Eras tour.
Yeah.
So we're just so fortunate to have that. And it makes me, really makes me think about what one of my bosses said back in the old days. And I carry this with me. And I think I probably said it on this show half a dozen times, but attitude is your primary weapon. And that is one of the examples. And we just had the two doctors. Mm-hmm. As soon as they sat down, the smiles on their face, the attitude they had, it was contagious, right?
It literally is. If they sat and they were hard to interview, it would have been the worst interview of all time. But I think that was a really good interview simply because, like you said, they were happy. They wanted to be here. They wanted to talk to us. And they're passionate about what they do. That's the biggest thing. Sure. It's like I could talk to anybody about TBSN and Bleacher Brothers and what we're doing here because I'm passionate about it, man. I mean, once this is all over, I'm going to go call my dad and probably lose my mind. I mean, between the Carrot Top interview, between I talked to him this morning about that one, but got to update him on today's events, right? I mean, we've got Jim Nance, we've got JJ Watt, we've got Coach Cower, we've got everybody, and Jonathan Jones, that's who I was forgetting. And then the cool thing about Jonathan Jones and Jim Nance is they're both guys like me who they don't have that upper step to get into journalism. AJ's my upper step. Then I worked to find him and recruit, and he, you know how it works. But they're both guys who had to build their own brand, grind, work their way up, and they're at the top of their games, man. Jonathan Jones, for those who don't know, he's the lead guy, lead NFL insider on CBS. So anything news related, anything that's not play-by-play related, he's covering it, and he's writing about it. He's got, in a similar sense, he's got the writing. He writes articles. He's got his podcast on the streaming network on CBS, and he's on TV. And it's like he's doing all that, covering every NFL team, and it's just cool to see what you can accomplish, even if you don't have that silver spoon fed to you.
So you're saying he's like the Adam Schefter of CBS.
And you know what? I told him he's going to be better than Adam Schefter.
I hope so.
and I don't know if that's disrespectful because he may already be better than Adam Schefter. I honestly don't know. It depends on who you ask.
And we love Adam Schefter.
We do. We are not. But that was more a compliment on Jonathan Jones than it was anything to do with Adam Schefter.
That's right. That's Robbie Listella, by the way.
Oh God, you're gonna cancel me, guys. Adam, big fan. Jonathan just was on hand to speak to me. Don't cancel me.
No, of course not. Of course not. And of course, you can't call in and talk to Robbie at 352-234-TONY. That's 352-234-8669. We're live, Radio Row, Las Vegas. First time in Vegas for the Super Bowl. Tony Bruno Sports Network, BleacherBrothers.com. And Robbie, so if we talk about some of the, going back to the X's and O's, you immediately, we got off subject on the the Europe thing.
Yeah.
The guy you were talking about, the guy from Denmark.
Yeah.
And didn't you say he was breaking down the X's and O's? I wanted to kind of circle back to that because I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, he knows coverages, he knows alignments, everything. And he was saying, I mean, I don't know if it's just him. I mean, I'm sure there's other people out there who know stuff, but I mean, if he's trying to make it too as a journalist, there's no guarantees. I mean, he says there's a big market in Denmark. I don't know how big that is, but at the same time,
Miss Robin knows, right?
He's putting in work, and he knows his stuff, and he's asking good stuff at these press conferences, man. So we may have a special appearance from Nicholas on Friday on the Bleacher Brothers show. He is interested in talking with us, so we may try to coordinate that and talk with him about really how big the NFL is in Europe and specifically Denmark. Funny, he described the language he writes in as Danish and speaks as Danish. He said it is the ugliest and hardest language to learn out there. He said maybe even harder than Chinese.
No way.
I don't know. I mean, I was looking at it. It doesn't look very friendly. I mean, you look at Spanish, right? And you can kind of guess some of the words, like, oh, that's close enough.
Some of them cross over,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Now, I was looking at that. Nothing looked even close. I clicked on his article, and the only thing that worked in my mind was the last names of the players.
All hieroglyphics.
It literally was. I mean, no, it wasn't, but it's just like, imagine all these letters just jumbled together. That's what it looked like. But hey, man, that's what's cool to me about this is just that's another market that's absorbing the NFL.
Yeah, and I'm so curious to see what's going to happen the next, like I said, notch up every day. Who we're going to see? Will we see China? I bet we will.
China. I don't know about China, man.
Or Japan. Well, of course, it was a bad pick by me, but you know what I mean. Anybody from like Europe, I'd love to interview those guys. But I believe that was for Monday. So if you know anything about Radio Roads, Mondays for media interviewing media. And I was definitely on the search yesterday, and even today we were walking around, and I'm like, "Where's Jim Rome?" And that's how I found Tony. If you guys don't know my story a little bit, I used to listen to Jim Rome after I got off work, and then right after Jim Rome was this funny guy called Tony Bruno. It was Into the Night, right? And I was immediately wow! This is the best. What am I listening to? And I gotta ask you a question. How many people when you come back from a drive, and you basically you're putting on the AM radio when you come home instead of the TV, and that was me. So I don't know how many people ever did that, but I was stuck with them forever. So, well, I believe we might have somebody
on the line.
Oh, I
Chef
think
Tom. Oh.
All right, so we're efforting a little phone call here. While
we got a nice staff here, Tom. We got a crew.
We got interns. It's
Jose from Lawrencetown.
Now this is the legendary Jose from Norristown. If you don't know him, you're in for a big treat.
Introduce me then, Chef
Are
Tom.
you on, Jose? What up?
Hello,
Jose. Can you hear me? What up?
What up? Play action.
Yes. Oh, so good to hear. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Joe. And what up? Media Day down in Vegas.
Oh, good, man. You snuck right in. We're about to wrap up the show. So what are your thoughts on the slot machines and high rollers and the Super Bowl all together, huh?
Three things: Elvis Presley, number 2, Viva Las Vegas. And dice are hot, yo.
Dice are hot. He said, you heard it here first.
The dice are indeed hot.
Oh, yeah. And if you guys don't know, Jose is a legend. The guy is an absolute genius. And I believe he might be right now watching an old game of hockey as we speak.
Big hockey guy?
He knows everything.
Awesome.
He can blow you out of the water.
Who knows more, him or Luch?
I would say my money's on Jose. What do you
got to have him do a debate?
So Jose, who you got these days in hockey? Who's the hot team? The West, right?
As of right now, what up, McDavid and Draisaitl and Edmonton?
That's right.
Interesting.
Well, isn't he? Is he the kid that's hurt? I mean, or is that the other Connor? I get him confused. Who's the guy that broke
Connor
the
Bedard.
Bedard, that's right.
Connor Bedard.
Did you watch the Hockey All-Star game?
No, I did not.
I heard it was a good success.
I don't watch. I know Team Matthews beat Tim McDavid in the final. Other than that, they need to go back the old way, East versus West, or U.S. versus the world.
I think that's how it should be in every sport. It can't be these stupid things where the players pick their own teams and it's just like a big friend fest. I want competition.
This year.
Oh yeah.
I want competition. I want to bring back the winner of these All-Star games gets home fielded. That's a baseball thing. But
this time it counts.
yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I thought that was cool when if you won the All-Star game in the MLB, you got home field advantage in the World Series.
That makes sense to me.
But not anymore.
Oh, by the way, play action.
Yes, sir.
While you're at Vegas, I was following the MLB landscape for you. What about this signing? 5 years, actual retail price, $175 million for your second baseman,
I know what you mean. Yeah, Altuve. We knew that was going to happen. I thought he was going to get some kind of showy. Well, basically, that's a stay with the Houston Astros for the rest of your life deal, don't you think?
Yep. He'll be the longest tenured second baseman in Astros history,
Well, what about the other side, about your boy Bobby Witt Jr.? What did you think about that one?
Actual retail price, $288 million for 12 years.
Bobby Witt's up and coming.
Standards, he's an up-and-comer. Give him the deal. Why not?
That's right. That was a very smart, wise move. I believe it was. I'm going to have Luca tell you something in a minute. But the 8-year deal, an option for a total of 11. And Luca, help me out. You're going to tell me what's up.
So that deal is a 12-year deal, but there's an opt. He has an opt-out during those years. But if he doesn't use those, he gets an extra 3 years. So it's a 15-year deal.
Wow.
Outstanding.
It's a big one.
Oh, by the way, Lucas, your fault. Reese Hoskins saying, what up, Milwaukee?
I know. I was surprised he went to Milwaukee. That's kind of a surprise move, It's like this free agency's been slow with all the signings. Like, all the big names are still out there. So it's like, are we going to have, like, Scott Boras pleading these players to say, sign soon?
Oh,
that's
that
possible.
I forgot to mention, Luker. You just lost one of your horses to Baltimore.
Jose.
That's right.
So,
Jose from
Colin
Philly.
Burns goes, what up, Camden Yards?
Yeah, I'm telling you, they got new owners, Cal Ripken and all that.
Orioles are looking up.
Definitely.
I'm a Yankees fan, and I'm scared of them.
You're scared.
Scared of the Orioles. They just got, who did they just get? The pitcher, Corbin Burns, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the guy. Was
Other
it
than
Santander? That's just fun to say.
Anthony Santander.
That's right. See, if anybody knows, Jose knows, and I mean, I rely on you for so much. I just appreciate just you just talking to me, and another guy, you guys. He's selfless. He wants to. He asked about my family, and like he's never met them, and my wife is like, what a sweet guy. I'm like, well, you haven't met him in person, so let's just take it easy. But Jose, about yourself, I got to know on this game coming up, which red team do you think is going to take it?
Since I haven't predicted it on social media yet, I'm leaning towards 49ers.
49ers, okay. You heard it here first. That's our beautiful man, Jose, on the mic telling us the 49. And if I trust anybody, it's going to be Jose.
Other than that, whoever's the nice lady that got the phone, what up, nice lady?
Yeah, that's right. That's our intern from UNLV. And that's if you look at it, I was talking about before, getting the youth in there. Bisa, right?
Yeah, 28.
She's only 28. The young up and coming intern. So yeah, we
I think of UNLV. Play action. What up, Shark? Talk to Shark. What up, Thomas and Max Center?
What up, Grandmama?
Yep. What up, Larry Johnson, Augman, George Eccles, Anderson Hunt, and Craig Anthony?
You guys are listening to the Tony Bruno Sports Network. We got Robbie Listel and your boy Play Action Real filling in for the great Tony Bruno, and of course Jose. Yes, right, Jose from Norristown. So it looks like we're gonna take a break or something, or
wrap it up.
Oh, we're gonna wrap it up. My
What
goodness.
Up, what up? Wrap up time.
Well, definitely, Jose, I'm so glad to hear from you, my friend. I will be talking to you soon.
Get hard out here.
And you have a nice day, my friend.
By the way,
yes, sir.
You too. By the way, tell what up, Mr. Play Action and kids.
I will do that, my friend. I will definitely do that. So, thank you so much.
All righty, Tom. Or Tom, Jesus.
I don't care what you call
Play
me.
Action, my man. It's been a pleasure hopping on TBSN, the Tony Bruno Sports Network, Bleacher Brothers show, live in person, just us two. It was a good time.
That's right. Don't forget about us, BleacherBrothers.com. Jump on, and another thing, Bet365 will match up to $500 of your bet. Of course, if you do have a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER, must be 21 or older. And we're going to see you guys tomorrow with, of course, Tony Bruno, the man, will be back, so don't worry.
This knife has a straight edge on it, so it's very easy